The noise that you make, or is noise the wrong word? The noise that you make does fit to this weather.
Yeah, I think so. I think noise is the perfect word.
What do you want to reach with this noise? Do you want to spread aggression?
No, not really. Just want to make some sounds that maybe people might not hear the rest of the day.
What is so attractive to making this sound?
It's fun. It's like a little kid with a really big toy.
Okay, it's fun, but it's so loud.
What, are you saying you don't like it?
Yeah, well, I like it.
No, come on. Don't. He's lying to people. He's lying.
Well, no. I like some parts of it, but it's so loud all over. It's constantly loud.
I know. Can you believe it? Yeah.
By the way, I get that this is mine now.
How about $20?
Why don't you just relax a little bit? It's only $20.
Life. What have you found about most of the people that are the street performers?
Well, it's a job like anything else, and they'd probably rather be doing that than washing dishes for somebody. They're very dedicated.
Probably playing spoons than washing the spoons.
Well, he doesn't have to wash his spoons because he's so famous now that he has someone else do that for him.
And he's
spoon tech. And a man with spoons.
Yes.
And so you just saw this guy and you decided to write a song about him?
Well, he's been around for a while, and actually the song came about from well, it's a long story. Do you guys want to hear it?
Not really. Can you sum it up real quick?
I don't want to tell it.
I said
they're good. Yeah, it's European is the one thing, and then the other thing is it's like you have to take a long flight over there, and then you feel sort of stranded, and the food's different, and it's what's European?
Bleak.
No, it's great. We love going to Europe. Actually, it's really cool.
Oh, you spent a lot of time at the San Diego Zoo, right?
I've only been there once. It was depressing.
You guys are winding up a European tour. How's that been working out for you?
Really awful, actually. No.
What do you look for in a bowling ball?
I look for really big holes, and we got some good-looking balls here, and
because these are quite, I guess, as balls would go.
This is a good-looking ball. Sexy. It's kind of marbly. It's silver. Silver's cool.
But it looks like the holes are too small.
So I'm going to say, screw this. It's good looking, but I don't like it.
What would you?
You can't dance to Soundgarden songs, and you're not likely to go shopping with your girlfriends while listening to Soundgarden material. So you can dance to Soundgarden songs, but it's embarrassing.
Say, I don't agree with you there.
Meet the new member of Soundgarden.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Ben Shepherd, the new member of Soundgarden, bass player extraordinaire, tallest member of the band,
Skinniest.
And the skinniest.
Do the bands kind of work together a lot and influence each other?
Well, it's all sort of a managerial type of thing, we all completely hate each other, and all these things are just arranged by like the Seattle Kingpins and cigar chomping people. They just usher us around in limousines, and we sort of perform on each other's records.
they get us together during picnics and take photos and release them around. See, they are friends.
Yeah. I don't know why they insist on this unity thing. It's really getting tiring.
Go.
There's been a lot of talk lately, a lot of slander, a lot of talk about Eric July, Ison, and I find it terrible. There's a lot of people out there that want to hate, they criticise Ison like it's filth. Criticism is racism. And I want you to understand that. If society's taught me anything, is that as white people should be utilising our white shame, our white guilt, and supporting all black artists, no matter how mediocre they are. Sure, Eric July might just be in it for the money. He might be a bit arrogant and condescending, but he's a black artist and you've got to support him. Because without support for our black artists, what would they have? You shouldn't be criticising black artists' work. It's just not on. It's not on. It's totally racist and bigoted. So I would like to say, leave Eric alone. And for all you white people out there having a go at him, try utilising some of your white guilt. Every black artist deserves to be supported. And Eric's a conservative. There's not many of them. It's a sad state of affairs. It really hits me in the heart. I mean, sure, Eric July might use a lot of CGI and graphics and computer-generated art, but that's not the point. He does it anyway, and he's doing it on his own. He's a strong, independent black man, and he's making money. And you lot can't do anything but hate on him. How sad and pathetic you must be. I'm not naming any names, but you know who you are. You know all the ones that have been mean to Eric. You've been mean to him. Mean. And it's not on. It's not on. He's the best thing since Malcolm X.
I told that moron not to take out my Tchaikovsky tape. No matter, let's get started. Here we are, Nancy Moon. The last time we left our heroine, she had just joined my esteemed colleagues at level M. And the soldier cannot stop talking. A magician with money issues. A vampire with a checkered past. But there are other teammates she's yet to meet. One in particular might be a little bit shocking for her. I do hope she's not allergic. Back it today, won't you? Like right now.
Gasoline, no kerosene, now you seem to burn up right before your eyes, not in disguise. I will tear myself out outside, and you still got a little pride. So burn your scripts, no one escapes, because you're right to walk out. I won't let these chains of material fashion cut off my hands from their plans for transcendent action. After all, that's what she said she wanted. And I won't let go of the sense I get to feel. And you, she's still running, you are something surprising. marriage. I can't go down ignorance and apathetic indifference to a dead sentence they receive in the first grade of a life and a home and a hope that can never really be made while a non-profit planning St. Benjamin legalized murder of millions who go rapping to be white. Although I with sweet smiles and political guile, reaching millions a year. What she did, she wanted. I won't let go of the things I did feel. Still running wild, don't be surprised when you slap. We got the brothers and sisters. Oh yeah. Even with the one I'm doing right back and I can't. I get my blood and just fuck it out. I won't let go of the sense I need to live. Just sit right if you are. Just don't be surprised when you say. Somewhere, somehow, someone, somewhere, somehow, someone, somewhere, somehow, someone, somewhere, somehow, someone. Somewhere, somehow, someone, 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 somewhere, somehow,
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, yet again to another edition of the Comicsgate Commandos. I just realized I'm not wearing my sunglasses. How embarrassing. How embarrassing. You all can see my green eyes. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce my co-host, Colonel Carbon Hart. What's up, Carbon?
How you doing?
How you doing, man?
I'm
Chilling.
good.
Chilling like a villain.
We're back.
Good. What's going? Is there a delay on my end?
Yeah. You want to quickly hop out and hop in?
Ladies and gentlemen, Carbon Hart is going to tell you how his week went.
Yes. Hail chat. Welcome. Thanks for joining the channel. I see that Patrick has a few more subscribers. We got some new people in the chat. Hail. Yeah, it's been a hectic week. Basically fighting off the memes, as you know, and the hate that we've been getting. There you are.
No, I can't use this button. Anyway, keep talking. What's going on? Am I on a delay again?
No, you're good.
Okay.
Okay.
No, yeah. Keep saying what you were saying.
Yeah, might as well recap the week. Had a little bit of a run-in with Matt Barr, as everybody is familiar with that individual. And I came to a conclusion. Last week, I remember I said that it's not worth arguing with fools. Don't waste your time arguing with fools. Yeah, that's the conclusion, because even after that debate, he's every day he's obsessed with tweeting out "This is Comicsgate" for every little criticism he's finding in random people's behavior, as if every single weirdo online who happens to be a fan of Comicsgate, their behavior speaks for the entire movement. So I think he's lost. I think Matt Barr and Wiggle, they're gonna fade into obscurity, basically.
Did you notice? I know you were kind of caught. Maybe you were caught up in the heat of the moment. Maybe you weren't. But did you notice how like many times, at least 3 times I counted while watching that, Wiggle would you would address a question to Matt Barr, and Wiggle would answer as if he was Matt Barr. Did you notice that?
Yeah, and also they were very emotional about the whole thing, where I was being logical, and then they would cut off my point because they knew that my point was going to be logical, and it was going to prove that they were behaving like children.
Yeah.
And catty bitches, essentially. They were being catty bitches. And they're acting like liberals, basically.
Yeah. Here, let me say hi to the chat real quick because there's a lot of people in here. We got 6 people today. Kevin Everson, hail man, what's going on, dude? Nice to see you. Kate in Orlando, very nice to see you, Kate. Dark Mind of L, welcome back. Love to see you. Forest Pub, hello, guy. How you doing, man? I assume you're a guy. If you're not a guy, I've just misgendered you. A high crime in today's society. And who else we got? Nicholas McHugh. I feel like if Nicholas McHugh, Nick, do you do streams and stuff? Because I feel like you're Comicsgate Commandos material. Dr. Ben says, on the way under heavy fire. Yes, well, you see, ladies and gentlemen, I sent Carbon Heart on that debate. It was a mission that I sent him on to go essentially dismantle the Matt Barr. Well, it's now, I was going to say war campaign. How funny is that? It really is a war campaign, and he's kind of joined war campaign. And then we've got Dr. Ben I sent off to go do, well, I can't tell you what, because that's special access program stuff. You guys, you might pay taxes for it. You might be paying for it, but you don't need to know.
State secret.
Forrest Pub says, my pronouns are ass and hole. But Nicholas said Wiggles' show was really sad last night. Did you watch that, Carbon?
No, I did not. That guy, like we said last week, first impressions mean a lot. Mm-hmm. And Dr. Ben had the same kind of first impression where you hear him talk and you just get the sense that the guy's a bit of a jerk, bit of a, well, he actually, there's somebody clipped a portion of my debate. I don't know if you saw that. I think it was, who did that?
Katie did?
No. Let me quickly look. But
while he's looking,
in the clip,
go ahead.
No, I'm not going to pull it up. But in the clip, though, Wiggle directly said that his intention is simply to bully and harass people in Comicsgate, which he proved my point, because my entire argument, which they refused to listen to, was that they were equating EVS, their distaste for EVS, they equated with all of Comicsgate, because when they go on Twitter and say fuck Comicsgate and or this is Comicsgate, like a fucking liberal would do, they're equivocating one person's gripes with an entire movement of people. That's what I said. And that's when I listed all the other kings. And then they they stopped me. Oh, no, we like those guys. So that made my point stand true. Stop shitting on all of Comicsgate.
Yeah. You know what I think? The main thing that they don't seem to understand, well, okay, Matt Barr doesn't seem to understand much of anything, folks. He's kind of I've said it before. What did I call him? An egregiously obnoxious clod, I think is what I called him. I can't express in more like concrete terms how unintelligent I think that man is. And that's I could say, oh, he's a fuckface, or he's an asshole, or he's a faggot. I could say all kinds of things that would insult him. But those things kind of fall by the wayside when you just, literally, he's just not very intelligent at all. And he's got a lot of pride going on. Forrest Pub says, saying FCG is saying F you to fans. Yes. And what's also interesting? The thing that they don't seem to understand, or at least Wiggles doesn't understand, because from what I gathered, and I don't know if this is all War Campaign, but it seems like this was Wiggles, that they think that Comicsgate is a far-right conservative Christian movement. Now, if people were to describe me and my politics, I think they would call me probably a far-right conservative religious extremist. However, that's not what Comicsgate is really about. Like, Comicsgate is about freedom of speech, like first and foremost, because that's the reason it exists, because people did not have freedom of speech. They were not allowed to say the things that they wanted to say about whatever. You know, it just happened to be about their political leanings. But then also it's about the purity of the art form and producing top-notch comics. And it's funny to me how many of these people, once they realize that somebody is not Christian and is in Comicsgate, they get so pissed off. And it's like, this is this is what freedom of speech looks like. And all of us who we don't agree on everything. We don't agree on our religion. We don't agree on yada, yada, yada. And yet we're still here supporting Comicsgate so that everybody has the right to their freedom of speech, that they can say what they want in the effort to create the best comics possible.
Exactly. And, you know, at one point in that chat, Wiggle was trying to be smart and asked me what I thought Comicsgate was. And I pretty much gave the same answer that you just did, because in all honesty, it's not that complicated, you know? I told him, look, it's called Comicsgate. We're comics fans, obviously. Right? And, you know, it's about creative freedom and not being beholden to the political agendas that were happening, that forced people out of their jobs. It's obvious that that's what it was. Oh, and by the way, I saw that the person who clipped it was Gift of the Gab on Twitter.
Oh, she's cool. She's cool. I mean, I like her. She's been on. She's watched our show from time to time. She's the reason we're talking about Tartaria today.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because like, what was it, 3 or 4 streams ago? I did it as a joke because, you know, like I love to do this where like I'm like, we're gonna talk about this, and then just we don't even mention it once. Which I like to do. I don't know. I just like to annoy people like that. But she was actually kind of upset that we didn't talk about Tartaria. So we've got to talk about it today. And I hopefully have a special surprise guest coming on. We'll see if he's available. He said he might not be able to come on. But if he is, he knows a lot more about that subject than I do.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Yeah, you know, actually, I even did a little bit of homework. Not much. Obviously, you know, there wasn't that much time. But I was looking into Tartaria and Atlantis and Lemuria.
Yeah.
A little bit, just to refresh on it, so that whatever we look at, you know, it won't be completely brand new to me.
Yeah. The whole Atlantis Lemuria thing is fascinating. Did you read the dialogue that I think it was, who was it? Oh, I don't want to say the wrong name because people will make fun of me and I'll seem like a fool. I want to say it was Aristotle, and he was talking to a Egyptian priest / intellectual by the name of, it starts with an S. I want to say Sochan, but I'm not entirely certain. Have you ever seen that dialogue between them where they talk about Atlantis and Lemuria?
No, I have not.
We might have to bring that up.
Well, you know, yeah, I'd like to look at primary sources, because that's going to come up in our discussion of it.
Yeah.
Because there are a lot of conspiracy theories out there that have been kind of snowballing into things that are referencing second-hand information. If you know what I mean? And it becomes a little less believable at that point.
Yeah, and there's this mistake that a lot of people, like, I want to give people the benefit of the doubt. I don't like to assume negative things about people. So, you know, but there's a lot of people who like talk about conspiracies and stuff and post videos about it on YouTube. And they have this horrible, horrible issue of saying, like, they say, this person said this, and they don't show you the source. They don't show you the text.
Yeah.
Like, what's his name? Is his name Billy Carson, I think, about the Emerald Tablets of Thoth. Have you ever heard of that?
I heard of the Emerald Tablets. You know, funny little tidbit. You've heard of Cat Williams, the comedian?
Yeah. Yeah.
He famously brought it up recently on the Joe Rogan podcast, and I mean that was a very popular. Joe Rogan's huge, obviously.
Yeah,
and so
naturally.
Pat Williams is also huge. That podcast, a lot of people talked about it because Cat Williams kind of went off the deep end, rattling off conspiracy theories, and I honestly don't like when that happens. Because then you got a case of somebody kind of, it just sounds like they're rambling,
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's a that's a problem with the truth, I would say. Like, if I were to start talking to the chat right now about all the things that I think about the reality of the world and the way it is, I would lose so many people. They'd be like, this guy's fucking nuts. And it's partially because a lot of this is dependent on a lot of other things, a lot of other information. So you have to kind of like know one thing to consider another thing as being possible.
Yeah. And you are far right after all, so it might be a little too extreme. But actually, I've come to find that a lot of people in the chat and even our chat have been pretty receptive to some intense things that we have said.
Yeah.
They agree.
Very open-minded and allowing of freedom of speech. I mean, this is what it's all about. Like, you don't have to like what we say. You don't have to agree with what we say. You can call us fucking retards. You can say whatever you want in the chat. Like, there's unless you're like an AI bot or you're spamming shit, the odds of any of us banning you are like close to zero. I don't care. I've been told that I'm a fucking, I've been told that I'm all kinds of things my whole life. So it doesn't really bother me when it comes from an internet, avatar. Oh, Nicholas McHugh says,
yeah,
I feel like I'm being groomed.
All right, let's put out the disclaimer now that we are in no way as a whole trying to radicalize anybody out there. Okay? Because that does exist, and the accusations of that with the whole Reddit forums and 4chan, 8chan, what have you. And so that's not happening here.
All I'm interested in is the truth. And if people the only way you can know the truth is if you look at as much information as possible and then make a judgment call on it. Everybody has to do that for themselves. There's never going to be a point where we say something on this channel and like somebody just believes everything that we have to say and suddenly becomes like a cult member of the Comicsgate Commandos.
Yeah. But, like I was saying, it's nice to, when there's a big chat room, like on Ethan's channel or all the other guys, and certain topics come up that I would say that it seems like the majority of us are definitely centered towards the right, kind of spanning from center, moderate towards the right. We don't really see that many people who are hardcore liberals. But a lot of us seem to agree on some fundamentals, and I think that does matter, of course.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's interesting too, because like people who are like in the middle are now considered rightists because of how far gone the left has gone, at least in America. Because most of us, well, everybody, excuse me, I'm sorry, hold on one sec. Everybody on Comicsgate Commandos proper are all Americans. So we're obviously going to be talking about things from an American political perspective when we talk about, left versus right. But the left in America has become so far gone, so extremist, that they perceive people in the middle as being conservatives, which is kind of funny to me.
Yeah, definitely. Because you find a lot of people who used to say that they were moderates. Actually, it's funny because I myself, like about maybe 10 to 15 years ago, I used to say I was moderate when it came to politics and views. But now I do say that I'm conservative because it's like, there are some things where you have to pick where you stand on,
Yeah, no, 100%. Oh my gosh. I'm sorry, folks, for my throat thing here. It's been a long week. Horrible day.
Anything to drink over there?
I mean, I've got my drink, but I have this frog in the back of my throat. I probably shouldn't have eaten that earlier.
Yeah. You should probably just chug your beer.
Yeah, right. Just kill it, dude.
I got my usual tequila. That's
Oh,
my,
you're drinking tequila. Nice.
Yeah.
You probably go a lot slower than me. Like you guys can see, I fucking obliterate these beers on Saturday night.
Well, I mean, it's all relative though, because my tolerance is pretty high, and but yeah, I sip it slowly, but enough to the point where I can actually feel it, because that's the whole reason why I'm drinking liquor instead of beer.
Yeah. See, I just drink a ton of beers and then I get where I'm trying to go. But what do you guys in the chat? If you guys are drinking something tonight, let us know. And even if it's water or Kool-Aid or whatever.
Kate in Orlando says she's got her gin. I've noticed, my sister is a big gin person. I've noticed women are into gin.
Interesting. Do you like gin?
I'm fine with it. I like a gin and tonic. Gin and tonic is a great drink. It's refreshing.
Huh.
But in terms of choosing a liquor, gin is not at the top of my list. I would go with either whiskey or tequila or even vodka before gin. It's kind of at the bottom of my list.
I'm all about vodka, dude. Vodka's, if I'm to drink liquor, which I generally just completely avoid it. If I'm to drink liquor, I hate whiskey. I hate the one and only time I drank gin, I had a gin and tonic with somebody who used to be my friend at the bar. And literally I drank that gin and tonic, and then from my estimation, I woke up the next morning and I'd vomited on this other guy's shag carpet. So it was like never again.
Just from one gin and tonic?
Well, I had been drinking the whole previous night.
Oh, that's why.
But that gin and tonic it was at that point where I just went lights out,
Well, it's the whole liquor before beer and the clear. Beer before liquor, never been sick. So if you had beer before the gin, that's probably what made you sick.
Oh, yeah, I totally did. I love beer. So, Kate in Orlando says, gin, no carbs nor calories. Bombay. Nice. No carbs or calories. So, okay, I see. Oh, look who we got. The squid. Rum for me. I drink, if I drink liquor. Hail the squid. How you doing, man? Forrest Pub says, go ahead.
No, rum has a good taste to it. I like rum also.
Man, you guys are better men than me. I'm a bitch. I can't take that taste. Forrest Pub says, General Q uniform is inspiring me to watch G.I. Joe right now. Thank you, dude. It's funny because all the stuff that I'm wearing right now, I got, well, except for this. I got this for the show because it looks like a general's cap.
Yeah.
But everything else I'm wearing is because I wanted this stuff in real life. Speaking of real stuff, the squid says, I'm all right. Hope all is well with you. Yes, it is. Can anybody in the chat, this might turn off some members of the chat, but just, okay. Can anybody in the chat tell me what this is? I'm trying to be specific too. Can you tell me what this is? Anybody?
I'm not sure if we have many gun enthusiasts.
Yeah, I don't think we do. It's sad.
The squid says PMAG.
He's right. He knows. He knows exactly. Did he see the caliber on it too? Anybody tell me what this is? What this comes to, or comes from, goes with? This is a really fascinating one, honestly. You guys might not like guns, but the mechanics of the way they work are terribly fascinating. Anybody know what this is? The squid says, I have 7 of them. You shouldn't say how many you have, squid. He might have 7 of them. Ah, good job, squid. See, squid's on it. He's on it. Anybody? This is probably easier for some people. I'm kind of just showing off right now, but these are just laying on my desk.
Did you go shooting today?
Not today. I usually do my schedule, my work schedule is like a 3-week rotation. And Kate in Orlando says yes, but she didn't say what. I have a 3-week rotation on my work schedule, and so there'll be times where I'll get 5 days off in a row, and that's when I go, because it's kind of like I got a guy, like I got a friend, and he's got his own property down south, and I prefer going, driving an hour and a half, an hour and a half down south. See, the squid is fucking on it, dude. He's fucking on it. It in fact is the 45. I could have tricked you with the 9, but you got it.
Nice to see that we have some fellow Second Amendment enthusiasts.
Yes.
That's one thing that we're pretty straight and narrow on that one. Second Amendment.
That's right. Kate in Orlando says, I love them. I've got a pretty good aim. Oh, awesome. Very cool. If you should like post a video sometime of you shooting. You don't have to show yourself, but you can show like the target and how good you are. That'd be great. I suck at shooting. I'm so bad. I'm just kind of really getting better a little bit. I'm okay with handguns, but and I guess it's cheating with the P90, the PS90 technically, because it's the civilian edition. The PS90 is cheating because it's so easy to use. It has no recoil. It's just one of the most beautiful like pieces of machinery I've ever had the pleasure of using.
They are nice.
Not like I technically own one. I mean, I don't know.
Do we want to just to kind of go over the past week, other events that occurred? Did you watch the debate?
Yes, but I think I do want to talk about that. But I think for the moment, let's finish out the subject of, because I know we've been jumping around, folks. I know. Let's finish out the subject of Matt Barr. So if you, Carbon, could look up that clip that you'd mentioned about Wiggles saying, I want to harass and bully Comicsgate, and I want to play this clip, which some people might find disturbing. So let's get ready. But before we do that, here is Dr. Ben back from his mission. Look at that. Nice background, Dr. Ben.
Still in the field. So it might be a little bit of might have to run at a moment's notice.
Yeah.
Still taking fire. I believe a lot of it is from Matt Barr and his associates, I believe. So, stay safe, everyone.
Yeah. You got to watch out for those guys. But I'm going to play a video, folks. Sorry.
What's up, Carbon?
I'm going to play a video here that some people might have seen.
What? What's up, Kate?
You ready, guys?
Hello, bitch tits bar. I'm doing, you degenerate cunt. Riley was bad, mate. Getting into rape.
Come on, internet. Don't do me like this. I'm so nice to you all the time.
Is that bad, is it? How about come over to America and use the new address someone's just give me?
Ooh.
To come and gang rape you. I'll be lubing you up and rubbing your nipples, you deformed Popeye-looking cunt. You think you can make an enemy of me? When I was fucking nice to you, you using my channel for clout because you got a shitty little channel with no subscribers. Isn't that amazing? Look at you, famous comic book artist, eh? Really, innit? Yeah. You little cunt. You're going to regret this, Matt. Johnny knows how to hold a grudge, mate. And us English, we don't give up. I'm actually coming over there, so you better get ready. Get your guns out, lad. Get your guns out. I can't get over how fucking delusional you are. I was trying to be nice to you because I thought you were mentally retarded. I thought, he's had a knock to the head. But nah, you really are a little cunt, ain't you? A little bitchy, dweeby, closet gay cunt that's jealous of all the women and all the gays in Comicsgate because they get more fame than you. Yeah, that's what it is, isn't it, you little crybaby bitch? Come on. Come on my channel and have a chat with me. We'll talk in person. Yeah? Because I ain't slimy like you. I'll talk to you. You can come on. And I'll tell you exactly what I'm saying now. Coming for you, Matt. I'm coming. Get ready. Because I ain't pulling no punches like these little virgins and fucking dweebs you've been bullying. You've really made an enemy of me. And I gave you a lot of respect.
What's up?
Who are the virgins and dweebs, though?
Does he mean us?
You know, he might actually be talking about us.
No. He's referring to other people who have fought with Matt, where Matt has made fun of them. Like there's a recent guy who's a little bit of a strange case who Matt was bullying. So, you know, the whole dweeb and virgin thing is kind of some of these recluse people.
Forrest Pub says this guy is creepy. Forrest, he's not normally creepy. I will admit this video kind of scared me. I was like, oh shit.
Terrifying.
Well,
it was kind of scary.
if we didn't know Johnny, if I didn't know Johnny, I would think this guy is out of his fucking mind.
Oh yeah.
And it definitely is creepy, which, you know, he succeeded at making it creepy. And it has a Buffalo Bill vibe, even with the background, kind of looking like a basement. You know,
is that a metal detector in the background?
Yeah, and to his right, our left, there's a printout of like a guy in a balaclava looking like a terrorist.
I gotta look at this closer.
Yeah, take down the comment.
Yeah.
Take down the comment. So,
oh my god.
He pulled off the creep factor for sure.
Dark Mind of L says never seen Johnny like that before. Yeah, I mean this is like you fuck with somebody, you know, you mess with them, and sometimes they're, you know, they let you know how they feel about it. Like Forrest Pub says he might mean wizard. I'm sorry, Forrest. What's that in relation to? Kate Norlander says he does whine. Johnny came on Raptors and Matt wouldn't let Z. Wouldn't let, what's that? Oh, wouldn't let Johnny talk. Well, yeah, he won't let anybody talk because the thing about it is if people talk, then they'll like have points to make that are rational, and he might look like as dumb as he actually is. Dark Gift Comics says, "What's up? What's up? What's up, peeps?" See, the thing about Dark Gift, I love Dark Gift. Everybody, I got to be honest, and the thing about him too is that everybody fucking calls him a fence sitter. The dude is just trying to like keep the peace. Yeah, he's trying to keep the peace. He's not he shouldn't be expected to agree with everybody and to like follow their line when they okay, well this is what we're going to do. Why aren't you following me, Dark Gift? You're a fucking fence sitter. That's what everybody does to the guy. It's like, is he not allowed to have his own opinions that may not agree with you or anybody? You know what I mean?
No, I like Dark Gift. No, he's a cool guy for sure.
Yeah, he really is.
Well, he definitely plays neutral. I understand that. You know, it's also
but maybe he's not playing neutral. Maybe he's like, maybe that's just how he feels. Like he just.
Oh no, yeah, I didn't mean faking
it. No, okay.
I didn't mean faking it. I mean, he just stays neutral.
Yeah.
But I gotta admit, taking CG off the title of Slums, still a little irked about that. I'm still cool with him. No, I like Dark Gift.
Yeah.
But, you know, that was one thing I didn't care for.
Dude, that's why you got to go into his chat and call him a fake. That's what I do. I go into his chat and I say he hates CG.
All it takes. All it takes. The secret's out.
Forrest Pub says Riley broke Matt when he said he was going to grape him, and everyone laughed. Dude, exactly. Matt, can you imagine what Matt's going to do after this? I mean, this video is a little bit more serious. You know what I mean? Now, like I've talked to Johnny enough to know that first of all, he's not gay, so he's not going to rape a man up the butt, which means that the whole rape stuff is, I should say grape, shouldn't I? Whoops, sorry folks, I'm just so used to just saying things as they are. All that doesn't, it's just I can tell that he's well, he's mad. He's certainly mad at Matt, and you know, we'll see where that goes, but I don't think that he's gay, because you'd have to be gay to put your ding-a-ling in a man's bunghole. Matt should be fucking scared. Johnny gets his ass.
Well, he does say later in this video that even though he's not gay, he'll do it for the fun of it. So,
That's not how being straight works. For the fun of it, if it's fun, that means you're gay. Which I know Johnny's not. Kevin Everson says, "Pop culture king," right there. Yeah. Nicholas McHugh says, "Hail DG." DG says, "Johnny's from the old school punk scene. This is all performative. He may have a beef with Matt, but this is meant to be over the top." Exactly. Johnny is from the old school punk scene. Like this kind of bitch ass. Well, in Nicholas McHugh's words, this kind of bitch tits, response and activity from Matt Barr is 100% the kind of thing that would make a classic punk like Johnny just fucking roiling inside. So yeah, 100%. Yeah. A wizard is a virgin on Tony's show. Oh, is he really? Oh, I mean,
Frog Tony, is that who he's talking about?
I think he's talking about DG.
Oh, okay.
No idea who these people are.
It's true.
It's Dark Gift. I know. You get blamed for everything, dude. DG said, "I sold my soul because I made fun of Eric July and got sales." Is this true, DG? Did you sell your soul? Did he tell him he sold his soul? Not when you're playing with kids, DG. And he says, "There was more to it than that, Rich, but I don't revisit topics that don't seem to go anywhere." Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. Here, let's continue the video here, so we can continue the horror. This is. I'm scared.
It'll be one of your biggest regrets, lad. Seriously. I hope you think about it. And I'll be coming. Don't worry. I ain't giving up on
Means that in like two different ways.
this. Johnny ain't like your normal internet dweebs, mate. You ain't got no fucking clue who I really am, have you? You don't know that I got relatives in America. You don't know that I know crackheads over there. Yeah.
I love that.
Johnny's done drugs.
I know, right?
Johnny's had contact.
And the lip lick right after that to like reinforce the it's fucking going down.
I almost fell out of my chair laughing when I first saw this. This whole video is hilarious.
Oh my god! Whenever British guys say "in it," I think that's really funny too. I don't know why, but he said something. He was like, "That's raw, isn't it?" And I was like, "Oh my god, this is hilarious." But look, if Johnny's watching this, and he will watch it later, I think. If you're watching this, Johnny, and you fucking come to America and you don't fucking hit me up and you don't fucking come to St. Louis, bro, I'm gonna go over to Britain and I'm gonna gang grape you. You understand? If you don't hit me up and let me buy you a fucking pint, it's gonna be on like Donkey Kong.
You better wind your fucking neck in a bit, you little fucking cunt. Yeah, I'm serious, Matt. All right? Saying fucking yellow flash fucking started Comicsgate. You delusional
Get the
little
fuck
bitch.
out of here. Yeah.
You're just making shit up because you're crying and losing and nobody fucking likes you. You got to hang around with the fucking slumlords. All the homophobic little fucking dweebs.
Oh, wait, let's pause that there. DG, what do you think about that? Are you guys in slumlords homophobic? Are you guys homophobic? Look, I got to be honest, folks. I'm sodomy phobic.
Well, I mean, you might be referring to sometimes, even Matt Barr has done this where, he pulls out different insults from his bag as soon as you cross him. Like, the quick one is fat. So he'll call someone fat right away if he sees a picture of them. Or then try to, find a way to call them gay. Just these kind of childish, bare bones, basic ass insults. So I think the homophobic thing is where he starts saying, "Oh, you're gay," for whatever reason.
Yeah, he'll call you gay, he'll call you a faggot, and it's really like the lowest level of. I find it insulting because it's like the lowest level of attempt at an insult. Like if you're gonna insult somebody, please like put some effort in, dude. Like. Calling somebody a faggot or calling somebody gay or calling somebody an asshole or a cunt. It's like it's low effort. You can do better than that.
I only call them gay if they're actually gay.
Oh, hey, look at this. The Squid says, wait, you're in St. Louis too? I'm in North County. The Squid, we should meet up sometime. Dude, bro, we should 100% meet up and go to the range. 100%. That'd be really cool. Dark Gift Comics says, I don't recall Johnny mentioning Matt's kids, Kate. That would be crossing the line. He does mention his family, and he says, I'm a gentleman. We'll get to it, but he says, I'm a gentleman. I'm not going to mess with them. Kate in Orlando says, you were asleep, DG. Lol, Johnny didn't. He didn't like mention the kids specifically, but he mentioned how he wasn't messing around with the family at all. And that's one thing, too. It's like,
yeah.
You know, that's good.
It's like,
Force Pup says, Squid, July makes fun of himself by talking. I just repeat it and laugh. Dude, oh my God. I mean, I don't know. Like, some people can laugh at the way Eric July talks. At this point, because I used to be an Eric July fan, it just sickens me. I literally can't stand him anymore. I can't fucking listen to anything that he has to say because I remember when I used to like him, and now it's like, ugh.
Well, it's because of how much he has been lying and trying to rewrite his own words, and then he backtracks. The whole dishonesty and not taking criticism really damaged his image. Because I used to like him also, to be honest.
He really like. I mean, I don't think it's any coincidence that he really took. We're not going to hold on, but we're just going to finish this point, folks. And then we'll go back to the Matt Barr thing. But he really took a huge turn. I think when it was ISOM 1, it was okay. Everything was great for ISOM 1. And then when ISOM 2 started happening, and he hired the Saska sisters. I honestly, folks, I think the Saska sisters literally cast a blood sex magic ritual on him, and they've got him in their thrall right now. I've said that before. I'm keep saying it because they're Satanists, and the exact kind of thing that Satanists would do is exactly that. And I don't like Satanists very much. Dark Gift says, I got Johnny to clarify his virgin homophobic comment. He meant Wiggle and Matt. Cool. Nicholas McHugh says, I'm gay. Men back their brothers' plays. What do you mean? Like, what do you mean by back their brothers? Like,
they play around in the back. Okay.
No, I think he's talking about football. He's talking about football plays.
Okay. All right.
Maybe. I mean, that's what I'm taking it as.
Explain that reference to us, Carmen, because we're too much nerds to understand.
You're backing your teammates in the football play.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I've never had an issue with gay people. Like, the new gays seem kind of weird. Not like Nicholas.
The new gays.
But like there does seem to be like a new, like extra politicized, where it's even they're not even like with just the regular, I don't want to say like run of the mill, but like traditional gays. There's like these new ones that are more antagonistic and like extreme, and they're just, it's not like, hey, we just want to be like have the same rights as everyone. It's
right.
We want to have more rights, and you need to fucking pay. You know,
right?
Like that whole. Yeah, that's, I mean,
that's just that's new liberals in general. I think the new liberal attitude is what's making that community seem even worse because of that. That whole mentality.
I mean, like I was raised like super Roman Catholic Orthodox, so like you would think that I would be, I hate gay people. But then I like worked at I worked at a grocery store for a bit, and that one of the cashiers was gay, and he was like an old he was probably, I would say, late 40s, early 50s. So at that time he seemed old to me, and I didn't have any issue with him whatsoever. He was actually one of my favorite cashiers to bag for. I was a bagger, and we got along splendidly. And I never had any issue whatsoever. That contributed to me being like, well, I don't with any of these people at all. Like they want to be left alone to do their thing. Okay, I also want to be left alone to do my thing, whatever that may be. But the new, as you say, the new gays. I mean, they've been propagandized into like trying to upset the establishment, trying to make a whole fucking thing out of it. Like everybody was all right with it, and we were past it, and we were like, all right, whatever, do your thing.
It's the whole victimhood mentality, because obviously it's not just gays. It's everyone in who's
Right.
represented by that new flag, as if they're all victims, and they're not. Truth be told,
Right.
it's gotten to the point where they've even convinced non-LGBTQ people that they're victims, because you have straight people, and very popularly, like straight white women on the left.
What is that?
Was that a TV?
Stop that.
Okay.
Sorry, man. They're coming in here. I'm telling you. Any minute here. They're breaking.
Well,
Anyway,
yeah,
you
what
were
I was
saying,
saying
Carmen,
was-
about the gays.
That the victimhood agenda has convinced some people that it's actually real. Because I've met people who aren't gay or in LGBTQ, and then they repeat their talking points. They'll say, their rights are being taken away from them. And I go, no rights are being taken away from anybody in that group at all.
Have you guys seen on Twitter those people who are like, if Trump gets elected again, literally all of the LGBTQ people will be made illegal? Have you seen those people?
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck are you talking about? I will say, I believe in gays and lesbians, and all the rest of that, don't believe it. Like, it's all fucking nonsense to me.
Maybe we should get back to finishing up the topic.
Well, I
the
mean, we
video.
kind of are on the topic because we're talking about Matt Barr. Anyway,
Yeah. I mean, this is all.
Nick, I love how Nicholas McHugh. I love how you can take the gay jokes. It's funny. Caitlin Lerner says strictly Dickley. DG says apparently he'll only do business with slumlords as long as I'm the intermediary. You're talking about Matt, right? Force Pub says witch business. Dude, you're 100%. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. People think that witches aren't real. They think that magic isn't real. Okay.
All demonic
Nicholas,
actions.
I mean, these are real things that you can do. Nicholas McHugh says July was a BDSM client of the Saskas.
Could believe that.
It's possible. It's certainly possible. The Squid says, I'm always down for a range day so long as it isn't bush wildlife range. Yeah, I mean, we can go to like you've heard of the range, right, Squid? It's, you know where it is. If you know where it is. Nicholas says, critical theory, aka Marxism, is AIDS. Yes, sir. It 100% is. 100%. Dark Gift says, agreed, Nick. Yeah. Yep. See, he's touching tips there, so that means he agrees as well. Matt's definitely trans. Also, like the whole trans thing, like the gays and the lesbians need to really nip that shit in the butt. Like they need to be like, no, you're not associated with us. We're different.
Cecil is a trans man, I believe. That's what they always refer to him as. So, I mean,
really?
That's the thing is like, you can't. It's not a matter of like whatever your sex or sexuality, whatever that stuff. It's this whole politicization, going where you're taking that to attack other people with. You know what I mean? Like, how many people that are a different skin color do you hate just because they're a different skin color? But it's not, you argue with, let's say, LeBron James. You don't like LeBron James. It's not because he's black. It's because, he's been politicized. He's this idiot who's like, you got to do this, you got to do that. If you do, he's just such a, it's turning everything into politics is what the problem is. And the victimhood,
And that's a Marxist ploy. Let's finish this video, folks. Let's continue to get terrified of what Johnny Scab might do.
And you're blatantly a closet gay. I mean, just accept it. Look at you.
Okay. I will accept applause from the audience for how perfectly I paused that video and we talked about that whole subject and then went into this. I accept it now.
Your stream's going like that all the fucking
There he is.
time, you fucking little bender. If you were over here, they'd have you fucking bent over. You'd be done by bears, mate. You're a little skinny bitch. You may as well get a fucking transition, become a girl.
Hey, Johnny's in the chat.
No one fucking likes you, mate. Just grow up. Either fuck off and do your art.
Johnny Scab says, I'm in work, but I'll watch this later. See you on Scabcast, you lovely lot. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hello, Johnny. The chat is saying hi to you, Johnny. You should at least respond to them. Don't leave quite yet. Nicholas McHugh says his rage is fueled by the blockage, only solvable by a tampon, but he denies himself. Oh, Nick, I love how savage you are, dude.
Well, just carry on the way you're going, and someone's going to come to your house and fucking slit your throat. And if I got to come, it's going to be fucking worse. Because, yeah, I'm not gay, but I'd fuck you just for the fun of it. Just to see you cry. And I won't hurt your family. I'm not like that. I'm a gentleman. They can stay out of it. Just me and you, man.
There it is. I'm going to repeat that so everybody sees.
Won't hurt your family. I'm not like that. I'm a gentleman. They can stay out of it. Just me and you, Matt. Keep looking behind your back, mate, because I'm coming, all right? Someone's coming. You made a very big mistake, Matty. Matty bitch tits.
Matty bitch tits.
Are you ready?
Oh, my God.
Johnny's coming.
That is
I love how
terrifying.
Nicholas coined that term, bitch tits, and it is terrifying. Amazing.
Now,
Dark Gift says, I've been there. Hell, I was there a couple of months ago. He's talking about rape. I'm just kidding. I love taking people's comments out of context. Dark Gift says, to be frank, I know the joke is Matt's fighting everyone on the internet, but if you look at it from his perspective, he's getting hit from a ton of people, both no names and kings, and it's a whirlwind. Well, the thing about it is, Dark Gift, is that if he was a little bit less prideful or a little bit more intelligent, then that would not be his perspective. But I think what happened, to be honest with you, because everybody was getting along. And no, I'm not even talking like maybe he has a head injury, maybe he doesn't. I'm not going to give him that out, to be honest with you folks.
Well, I don't think it's, because that's
everybody was getting along.
Look, I know what Dark Gift is saying, and I hear him on that. It is a whirlwind. The thing is, he's now surrounded by a group of people that he's engaging with, because in many cases, he began the vitriol. Like he initiated arguments with a lot of people, Anthony. Yeah. Dark Gift. So it is a good portion of it is on him, and the head wound. The offense he took to that, ironically, I was trying to tell him this, but he kept talking over me, is that Ethan brought that up in response to Matt Barr talking shit about Ethan on the stream. And so therefore, Ethan bringing up the head wound was a reaction to Matt talking shit already. So, from his perspective, it's, oh, Ethan insulted me. But, dude, you've been continually talking shit. People are going to respond and react. The solution is to just stop. That really is the answer.
Move on. Don't keep trying to fight. Don't keep trying to start shit. Yeah. Acknowledge that the United Nations is an evil globalist empire trying to destroy human rights, trying to murder children. And he just blows it off. Well, yeah, I work for the UN, but who cares? It's like, no, the United Nations is literally the great beast, as prophesied by the Apostle John in the book of Revelation. You worked for them. You're not supposed to have anything to do with Satan's system. And here's Matt I know we're not, Comicsgate isn't, you'll have to be a Christian to be in it, but, we don't dismiss Christians.
Well, at the same time, the people in Comicsgate they're not like, okay, chat, somebody's got a delay here. It seems to me that it's Carbon and Dr. Ben. But can you chat? Can you guys tell us if anybody's got a delay here, and that person can jump out and come back in?
Yeah. It's just
you're not me.
It's the air raid.
Flashes and then you talk. So here, Carbon, I'm gonna say 1, 2, 3, and on 3, I want you to say "fuck Matt Barr." 1, 2, 3. Fuck Matt Barr.
Fuck Matt Barr.
You didn't say it. See, you're too late. You're late. You're delayed.
All right, I'll hop out. I'll come back in.
All right, come. See, he is delayed because he's out and he's still talking. Come back in, Carbon. But I want to. So to be frank, I know the joke is Matt's fighting everyone on the internet, but if you look at it from his perspective, he's getting hit from a ton of people, both no names and kings, and it's a whirlwind. First of all,
I want to say too.
I think Carbon made a good point in saying.
Yeah. Well, I think with Matt, I think
now.
that he's not necessarily. You try and go out and in and out.
Yeah, try. How am I now?
Dr. Ben, you're on a delay.
Try the in and out.
Hold on.
Same thing, yeah.
Say talk.
How am I now, Patrick?
Keep talking. Keep speaking.
How am I now? Is it timed with the movement?
Yeah, there's a bit of a. There's a
Yeah,
bit of
you
a
know
delay.
what? You should hop
So
out.
I'm gonna
and
do
in
this.
also.
I'm gonna add Dr. Bennett. I'm gonna jump out. Yeah. All right, I'll be back, folks.
Okay, now.
Welcome, Matt Barr.
Okay, now start clapping.
Damn technical difficulties, man. Pain in the ass.
Hey, you know, it's a small price to pay. It's a small price to pay.
That's true.
How's your week been, Carbon? I missed that part when you guys were. I heard someone when you're all talking, but
I was just summarizing what happened, which is pretty much what we've been talking about now. Yeah.
Well, what I was going to say is I think a lot of the stuff with Matt Barr is that he's also, it's not just him. You know what I'm saying? He's, we know he works with your boy Zach, and that was one of the things I was bringing up earlier. I think a lot of it is also coming from him because Zach, anytime you watch his videos, every other video, he's crying about Vita Yao, T. Franklin, Heather Antos, May. Every other video, he's crying. Yes, she's retarded. She literally can't read. She's so stupid. Blah blah blah. That's who Matt is trying to impress. Because when Carbon was on there talking with Matt, or remember, I was in the chat and I pointed out that Zach is actually a little bit hypocritical because he makes all these other videos crying about Ed Piscor, right? And that's what I was gonna say is we want to bring this up. This is oh no, this. There it is.
Let me roll through the chat here while you're doing that.
It's up. You just got to bring it up.
Lol.
Don't cut me off.
She's saying lol.
Oh Jesus, you're killing me.
I'm not trying to cut you off. There's this I'm sorry, dude. There's this terrible lag, and it's probably from me, I would imagine. But I want to let the chat talk too. You know. So DG said that the same thing had happened to him. Kate Orlando says yes, you were. Except the difference between you and DG Matt Barr is. Or the difference between you and Matt Barr, DG, is that you're not a fucking asshole. You're not constantly trying to start shit on the internet.
That's what I'm saying. He's following orders.
Paranoia. Dark Gift says he's definitely a pit bull and stubborn and emotional. Not denying that. Just saying that reality is what it is, especially on Twitter. 100 people in. You know what, Dark Gift? You're a fucking fence sitter. No, I'm just kidding. I'm joking. Way easier to talk one-on-one on YouTube. It would be if, I mean, look, dude, I've watched your channel when Matt Barr was on it, and he still fucking tries to talk over everybody all the time. The Squid says tornado siren in the background or a bomb raid siren. Hopefully it's a bomb raid and the end times are happening.
Yeah, it's air raid.
Orlando says music. Nicholas McHugh says DG, Matt was picking fights before the pylons. 100%. Matt was being a dick for no reason to people is why all of this is happening. 100%. I think Pat has the delay. Sounds fine on his end. Yeah, you're right. I still have the delay. He says, well, now we're playing chicken and egg game, Nick. I can present an argument for that, but it'd be difficult to express properly in text. Fair enough. That's a fair enough statement. Kate Orlando says, we had a rain bomb, got 50 gallons of water from my screen porch. That's cool. That's actually cool. Don't you like rain? Nicholas PQ says, Matt wants the drama ultimately. Matt knows what is going on, but he wants the chemical rush of conflict. I think that as well. I think that he really does love conflict and that he gets a kick out of it. And he said as much. And there was another... I was watching his stream last night, I think it was, or 2 nights ago, where he starts shitting on somebody for saying something that's kind of wild on Twitter. He's like, "Oh, you're fucking crazy for saying this," and then you go back and watch what he says about how he perceives things on Twitter, and he says that he's Twitter is like Grand Theft Auto, and it's just free game. Everything's free game. Yes, of course. Hold on. Let me send you the link. Now, Dr. Ben, I'm going to share this and you start talking.
Yeah. Okay. So my contention is that your boy Zach, AKA Richard Meyer, right? He's never been recognized by comics. comics industry, right? So he's still harboring, nursing his grudge. Every other video, he's crying about, like I said, and you don't have to take my word for it. Check his channel. He's got, if there's 100 videos on there, 70 of them are him crying about. It's just a core group of like 4 different women or whatever, right? We got Vita Ayala, T. Franklin, Heather, which I'll give him Heather Antos because she is a fucking cunt. Mags Visaggio, etc. Right? And every one of them,
you said 3 women. Mags Visaggio is not a woman. But continue.
Well, I'm not trying to insult people more than I have to. If they want them, you know what I'm saying? I give a fuck either way. But that's what I'm saying. He's constantly.
No, I'll be honest, on my channel, if you're a man, you're going to be called a man, and if you're a woman, you're going to be called a woman. You can say whatever you want,
okay,
but
let me finish my fucking shit. Jesus Christ. Already with the fucking chat, and then you cut me off again. Christ.
Damn it, Ben.
I'll pull fucking rank on you in a heartbeat. Yeah.
I am the general. What are you talking about?
I'm an outside contractor. I'm just here for the money, and I already got paid. So that's what I'm saying. I'm doing the job. So if Matt's just simply following the orders of Zach to do all this, I'd give him a pass, right? So that's up to him. I asked him what his problem was with me, and he couldn't tell me. You said something. Well, what did I say? I don't know. So you go on to Zach's channel, right? And this is from yesterday. Bleeding Cool announces that Dark Horse will print. Oh, fuck. Did I fuck it up? What did I just do? Holy Christ. Hold on.
Oh, my God. You've lost your opportunity, Dr. Ben. Right. Ladies and gentlemen, the man.
Hey, what's going on, fellas?
On this, Pat. Once we get to something, I'm on my shit, and did you cut it out of the thing, too? No, okay. So...
All right,
okay. So Zach says,
try to salvage his point here.
Okay.
Zach says, Bleeding Cool announces that Dark Horse will print, and that's also, this is Respect for the Dead. So Dark Horse will print an Alex DeCampi book. Things don't go very well in the comments, right? Because Alex DeCampi was one of the lying whores that Ed Piskor literally mentioned in his suicide note as the reason for his suicide. So that's what I'm saying too, is this is like literal fucking shit that we're dealing with that nobody fucking talks about, right? I'm the only person that fucking, I mean, there's a couple other people too, but you know what I'm saying? Goes to the comments. I commented, and he's blocked my comments. If you go on there, you won't see this, right? What would your boy Zach's reactions be if T. Franklin drove her wheelchair into the wood chipper and blamed him? Your boy Zach's always blaming me. I'm a fucking wheelchair lady. I'm going to kill myself now because of your boy Zach constantly harassing me, bullying me. He'd be celebrating, right? That'd be pretty fucking funny if she killed herself because he bullies her all the time.
Well, let me
his
ask
response is he's gonna fucking hide his shit. He's gonna hide someone calling him out. He's all about free speech unless it's something that doesn't fucking agree with him. So the boy Zach and fucking Matt Barr and Wiggle and all these fucking cocksuckers, they're not about fucking free speech. So that's the danger you run here. Hold on, fucking DG.
Sorry, go ahead.
No offense. That's my point. If you're about free speech, you're about free speech. If you can't handle criticism, don't talk shit. Your boy Zach talks shit. Your Matt Barr talks shit. All these people talk shit. Then when someone calls them out on it, they fucking run like little bitches.
So you're saying
people literally kill themselves over this dumb shit, and we're still like, oh, don't talk about it. Don't talk about it. I got more shit off the fucking back end from other creators in the real industry that get fucking shut out of contracts, get their anthologies canceled, because they stick up for Ed Piskor saying, hey, you know what? Maybe he wasn't a literal groomer. Maybe that, we just had some fucking lying horse saying shit. And he gets fucking people leaving his shit. Okay, well, real names like Larry Stroman and people like that. So that's what I'm saying.
Elasmat's been talking like hard about that and calling them all out. And his Twitter account
in the industry, not
I'm just saying, his Twitter account is fucked right now.
Yeah. That's
it's not shadow banned in the traditional sense. It's in a weird state of non-existence, but it's there. It's really weird. I went to a couple of third-party sites where, like,
real quick, you're a bit hot. Could you turn it down a little bit?
Oh yeah. Sorry.
Like you're at 100. Could turn it down to like 80.
No problem. I was sitting up on the mic, so that could have been it. Let me pull the mic back a little.
Yes, I mean that's my.
You're also really hot, like, but I mean.
If they're going to talk stuff and like say how we're all about free speech, but then they're hiding comments, they're just the same as an SJW.
Well,
Yeah,
Dr. Ben, let Dark Gift make his point. Sorry.
As far as the comment though goes, I mean, and this is just playing devil's advocate. I'm not even like, it could be YouTube holding it for review because of some of the wording there. I've had people yell at me, "You deleted my comment on your video," and then I'd go look into the held for review, and it'd be there, and then I'd have to approve it.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, that's possible. That's possible.
Just say, I mean,
I would say, Dr. Ben, I would say it's very probable because you have to understand, like, the internet is not controlled by you and me; it's controlled by people who are. They have
right, but I've made other
us.
comments on other videos and posts he's made, and they also don't show up that are not problematic because I thought of that as well. So I mean,
that's why I'm saying you could be 100% right. I'm just throwing it out there as,
and it still doesn't change the fact either of that, like, your boy Zach, Richard Meyer, crying about, "Oh, you people bully Dead Piss Score. You're so mean. You're so horrible. You're so garbage," and he continues to do the same bullshit himself. You think that he would take a moment of reflection,
Ben, I have a response to that though, because
yeah.
Here's the thing, your scenario you're posing of if T. Franklin were to end herself, right? Now, is Zach trying to cancel her and have her career destroyed, or is he simply criticizing her?
He can't destroy her career. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's not even recognized by the industry except as, Comicsgate or whatever they want to call him. He's a villain, so he can't do anything to her anyways.
He can't cancel her, so technically he's only criticizing her. I mean, I get where you're coming from, but I don't think the analogy is exactly the same, because if she were to end herself, Zach is not responsible for example, canceling her career, or getting her fired. He's simply doing some criticisms.
Yeah, it's not an exact one for one, I think, is what Carbon's saying. Like, I get what you're saying too, but
I don't like Zach.
Keep going, Zach. Like, see if you can get her to kill herself. Then I guess.
I don't really like Zach either too much. And well, here's one thing I agree with you on, though, Ben, is that they are doing SJW behavior. This whole collective of people who are when they get criticized, they bite back harder. That's what Matt Barr does. He told me that on the stream too. Where it's like, if somebody slaps me, I'm not just going to slap them back. I'm going to punch them back. And he's proven that on Twitter, where somebody says something about him, and then he comes back saying, "You obese gay piece of shit, and your father's a piece of shit." It's like, whoa, dude. It's like, you're out of your mind now, like. And I think that's what led to a lot of people saying he's a little crazy there,
The thing about that is that he resorts to petty insults and to like rage insultation instead of just saying, hey, this is a lie, this is not true, these people are not telling the truth. I think if he took a lot of those things with grace instead of becoming instantly at top level 10 anger, then people wouldn't feel that way.
Right. Well, like I said, just going back to what Nick said in the chat about, and I said, we're playing the which came first, the chicken or the egg game.
Yes.
Like, I can say, like, going back, like, what initially started the very first thing with Matt, at least in recent times, which led to where we're at now, was him just criticizing. I don't even remember who the fuck it was, now that I'm trying to remember.
Matt criticizing somebody?
Yeah, it was him criticizing somebody in Matt Barr fashion. Like I said, he's a pit bull. He's sorry, my windows are open and someone's lighting fireworks off. If you could hear that, I apologize.
That's okay. Carbon's way worse than you.
What you call it? He's a pit bull. If he's got he's like a dog with a bone when he's got somebody in his sights and stuff like that. So my issue here is, and I felt a lot of this too, going back a couple of months ago, whereas, like, I have no beef with Ethan Van Sciver. I love Ethan. Like, I just saw him the other day at Garden State, and we had a conversation. But I don't like the harping on the same topic over and over again. I just had this conversation with the Slums numerous times over the last 2 weeks. It's like we're becoming our own trash cast over here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't mind calling something out. I don't mind criticizing it. I'm of the mind that I could like somebody and still criticize something they do and not have to like it. It doesn't mean I have to hate them and go to war with them.
Can I ask you guys a question? Everybody on the panel here.
Yeah.
The way I see it is, it did start as the whole like trashing Eric July thing. It did start as like, from my perspective, Ethan was to a degree attacked. You know, I don't feel like he was the instigating party in this whole negative sphere. But he did, like Matt Barr does, you know, punch back instead of slapping back, and he's still punching. However,
on a daily level.
Yes, but now just bear with me here, and I might be completely wrong on this, and I'm willing to hear what anybody has to say on this. I feel like it was a punchback because at first it was the art form. You know what I mean? Like you're insulting the art form with what you're doing and the way that you're acting about it. And now I feel like he's moved on from that behind closed doors. Now I feel like he realizes that it's good for both of them business-wise. It's this whole Marvel versus DC thing. Does anybody else feel that way?
Yeah,
definitely.
Exactly.
I think there's a lot of kayfabe to it, but I also feel like it. And I mean no disrespect to anybody who's only shown up in the last year or two, but it's disenfranchised a lot of people who have been here since 2017.
Sure.
In what way?
Yeah, well, let me just comment. Patrick, I was going to say something similar about the whole trash cast and harping on the topic. And I agree, Anthony, I see where you're coming from, because that is what Ethan's doing. And it has been a turnoff to some people. But I agree with Pat in that he's turned it into an entertainment show where, ironically, there's been a bunch of instances of Ethan criticizing Eric by making fun of him, and then Eric actually watching it and getting some ideas. Have you seen examples of that? Right?
Yeah, dude.
A couple days later, Eric does something new that's in response to the kayfabe. So there is this kind of Marvel, well, not to that degree, but competitive growth that's happening there, and it's a little fun. I enjoy it because I think it's just funny, but I also see where other people are coming from.
Yeah, it's like that. It's like I get it. Like and you know, a lot of those people.
What do you mean by the disenfranchisement, DG? Like I'm not good with big words.
A lot of old timers. A lot of us old timers out there. You know, like you'll get like if anybody's newer, if anybody's only been here for like a year or two, you're gonna realize like Comicsgate years are like dog years on crack. It's
Seriously.
Yes.
These guys are like, why is everybody arguing? It's like, welcome.
like I'm here 7 years. It's like in Comicsgate years, that's like 90. You know, so what you call it? There's a lot of people who were just like, what happened to the books? Like, what happened to what the original mission of Comicsgate was? Because we're a long way from the original mission of and I get it, things change. It's been 7 years, but it's like,
real quick, Dark Gift, do you agree with my previous statement that I made where I said that, like, to me, Comicsgate is freedom of speech and the purity of the art form? Do you feel like that's how you perceive?
Yeah, it's and this isn't a diss. It's a very simplified version of the original tenets.
100%.
Whereas, like, you know, story over ideology.
Yeah.
You can have a message. No one's ever said like the whole like, oh, you know, you don't want politics in your book. The politics have always been in the book. Yeah, of course they've always been in the book. We're not idiots. You know, I think you're missing a point.
Got into World War II.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's because Zach said something very. It was a very loose comment about like, you know, we just want, you know, no politics in the book. What he meant to say was no divisive, no ham-fisted, no, you know. and he just kind of like dropped it down to like just the core, like no politics in the book, right? And everybody on the left and the mainstream comics ran with that, like, oh, they don't even know what they're talking about. Politics have always been in the books, and it was like, but that's how the internet works, you know. So
yeah, I mean that's real quick, guys. I want to catch up with the chat here. I don't want to, just ignore them. I said, chat, what do you think when we were talking about Matt? I said, chat, what do you think? Nicholas McHugh says he went off on Cecil, blocked him. Kate in Orlando says egos and blood sports and 12-hour streams, no promoting each other from what I've seen. Now, if you're talking about EVS, that's not true. He does promote other people. Maybe not as many lower level comic skaters as he could, but he's a free man to do whatever he wants. Nicholas McHugh says Slum should embrace the trash, but not take it so freaking serious. Okay, agreed, Nicholas. Book shows don't get views. New shows should be better with advertising, though. That's true. You're not wrong. Yes, DG used to be chilled and fun. All right.
Let's let
DG talk real quick. We're always on here.
Yeah. I just want to bullet points all those comments real quick. All right. So he went off on Cecil and blocked him. Yeah. Okay. So Matt used to go crazy, right? And then the one time he actually listened to everybody and just blocked people, he got shit for that too. So I'm just playing devil's advocate. So.
Fair enough.
You know what I mean? Like, the guy, like I said, it's been a whirlwind for the guy the last few months. I think he can calm down a bit. I've even told him so. Hell, and he's not lacking in self-awareness. He will reach out to people like myself and I'm sure others where he's like, was I a little off base there? And like, sometimes I'm like, no, you were perfectly within your rights to do that. Or, yeah, dude, I think you should pull back. You know what I mean? Like, he'll ask, people that he trusts, like if he's out of line. So he's not lacking in self-awareness. I think what she means by egos, blood sports, 12-hour streams, not promoting each other is from what I've seen. I think she's talking about the slums, and you're 100% right. And this is why I said the trash fire from mainline Comicsgate has spread to the slums. And the slums is now nothing but a trash fire.
Well, why do you feel that way? Wait a minute. Like,
I'll explain.
Is there anybody more important? Like, I don't feel like. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I've been Comicsgate for 4 to 5 years now, but I'll be honest, I never really delved into the slums until I started writing my own book. And then I started watching you guys. And shame on me, I know. But I feel like, and I might be wrong on this, that you're a leader. You're the leader, essentially, in the slums. So why do you think this happens?
That's people say that, and apparently and I say there is no leader of the slums, and everybody goes, "Yeah, you sound just like EVS when he says there's no leader of Comicsgate."
It's the same thing. But it's the same. But you see, it's the same thing. It's like the reason people believe that EVS is the leader of Comicsgate. In fact, fucking Alex Stein, being the ignorant fool that he is, said that he founded Comicsgate.
Right.
So it was funny because it's like, okay, dude, but
okay, normie.
Yeah, right, that's right. You fucking normie. But but you understand when you become kind of the face of it, that makes people think you're the leader. I understand that. So maybe I shouldn't have said that because that's kind of ignorant.
No, everybody says it, and it's just, but nobody's leading anybody. It's not like we're sitting in back rooms and I'm going, Matt Barr must go out and rampage on Twitter today and Wiggle fire up a crap cat. You know what I mean? Like there's no you know what I mean? There's none of that shit going on. If anything, I would say I'm more the conscience of the slums.
I would agree with you.
Well, you're like a delegate.
Yeah, and so what I mean by this is, and to answer Pat's question and to take care of one of Nick's comments there, slums should embrace the trash but not take it so freaking serious. That's the thing, bro. The slums was a meme for years. We were a meme. We were like I don't want to say the nobodies, but the slums weren't a thing. It was a thing for us, but it wasn't a thing within Comicsgate that had this relevance until Vito and Riley. Dick Masterson, Vito, and Riley. And it all happened because of the fucking Vic King shit. Right? They decided to take a pop shot at me, personally, specifically. We EFAP'd it. Riley went nuts. And all of a sudden, the slums became relevant.
Well,
and I'll be honest with you, none of us knew how to handle it.
I feel like the slums were already relevant to CG before that, though, because the slum show was watched by a lot of people, and also some of the regulars have books that they release. So you guys were relevant, but I guess you got more attention as a result of that drama.
Well, what we were relevant for was we were the newer, lower ranks of the network, right? Then and we were the place where you can go voice your opinion, whether it be pro something or anti something, and not really face any blowback, and you were safe to do so. That's another reason why there's a trash fire, because it's no longer that place. It's hard to explain without me actually having conversations with people one-on-one over there, because then it just sounds like I'm talking smack. But
well, you know what's interesting though, Anthony, is that there is like a kind of political system within the network of Comicsgate where, like, you guys have risen through the ranks, where the slums used to be something like, because you had almost no viewers, like, nobody knew who you were. Now people do know who you are, and so as a result of that, the status shifts, and as a result, the conversations change, and the dynamic changes within the group, and so it's almost like kind of rising through the ranks of politics.
Yeah, it used to be a spot where like EVS, John, those guys could come and like hang out with like the common folk, so to speak, on a late night stream and not garner so much attention because there'd be like 20 people watching, tops. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it'd be like where they can come down and slum it up, basically. It's kind of like,
Well, that's a natural thing, because the bigger your audience gets, the less people you can let on. And there's going to be more people who want to come on. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No. And like, what we started, the Slumlord show has been going about a year and 2 months now. It's worked. I mean, everybody's, the whole purpose was to network and grow everybody's channels to the point where like those of us who are selling books can do so. And everybody's channel is blowing up, sometimes for the right reasons, sometimes for what I would consider not the right reasons. But I mean, if it's working, it's working.
Well, you're right on one thing that you said earlier about Comicsgate is a lot more segmented now. The big schism that happened over the past year was the Dungeoneer schism, and so and it's obvious because ever since then, a lot of people scattered, because for a while, there was a lot of unity, and that was a good time. And actually, by the way, I've been watching Comicsgate for 5 years, because some people think I've only been watching for like a year. So I've been watching for 5 years, but I lurked the whole time. I pretty much lurked, and then I started talking more. But anyway,
did you say learned or learned?
Lurk.
Lurk.
Oh, lurk.
I lurk. Yeah. Well, the point I'm trying to make is that I feel like we go through ups and downs of drama where, because a similar thing happened with, Smiller and Boyette, and the other dude, Doug Naples. That was another schism, and then you have a period of shrinkage, and then all of a sudden more people come in. But then drama is inevitable. I think that's my ultimate point, where now we're going through this kind of crazy, like, Shakespearean battle between all these different parties. And I feel like soon, maybe next year, there's going to be a little more of a unity where people will come together again.
Well, I miss as far as at least the slums go, I miss where we were able to voice our opinion on something, whether it be about Comicsgate, a criticism of Comicsgate itself, or something an outside force or something, and then calling it a day on that topic and moving on to the next thing, because that was basically we were just basically. I think we were looked at, or at least we thought of ourselves as the group of people that would be like, hey, you're kind of screwing up there, bring it back, pal. You know what I mean? And for the most part, I think people respected that for a little bit. And Nick says, new people is a good. New people is always a good thing, Nick. I've always brought new people into CG. That's why people saying like that we didn't want new people in comics. No. And like I'm not going to get into that whole topic, with the beef between the Slums and Frog Tony and to a smaller degree Katie. I had my conversation in private with Katie a couple of weeks back. I explained to her what my one little comment about, like whatever I said. I think people know what I said, and I'm not going to repeat it here and start up a whole thing. But and it had nothing to do with anime. I'll just say it. I'll leave it there. I'll just say that like I explained to her where I was coming from, why I thought that, and I hope I'm wrong.
Well, you've always been a reasonable guy, maybe intentionally or not. You've been neutral in a lot of situations, and I mean that's one of the things I like about you, Anthony. So I don't imagine that you were being rude, or made any assumptions in that situation with Katie, right? I mean, I figured like we're just kind of trying to be reasonable about it.
Yeah, well, I think what brought my, so here's the thing. I mean, all right, so basically on a stream with, it was a Finatra stream with EVS, we were talking about the Riley situation, and I guess he saw me make a comment in the chat and asked me about it live, where I said that Tony and Katie seemed a little grifty to me. It was a to me, it was a throwaway comment. Like, I didn't think I was starting anything. Yeah, granted, I guess you could take it personally. Katie never really came at me about it. Tony dwelled on it for like 9 days straight on Twitter, to the point where he Streisand affected like my comment. Like, nobody had to know I even said that except for the people who were watching that stream. But then by the time by the time 9 days went by, everybody in Comicsgate knew that I called them a grifter.
Well, real quick,
well, you're right about the Streisand. Go ahead.
About that, like, do you think that that him Streisanding affecting that and talking about it maybe brought more attention to it and maybe brought more attention to him?
Of course.
Yeah, that's the key.
So are you wrong?
No.
You know what I mean? Like,
I literally said to him,
and then he like makes a giant deal out of it and makes a whole thing about it.
I literally said to him, like in the third day in, I go, your ranting for the last 3 days is literally proving my point right now. I said that to him on Twitter.
Exactly.
Right now, and then when it came to Katie, like she never came at me about it. She never like questioned me about it or anything. This was all public.
Oh, then yeah.
Right. You know what I mean? I had a neutral ground show. They all came on. I thought we had a truce. Beef was squashed. The next day is when all that other stuff on her came out. She never said anything. Like, she never, she didn't come back, or break the truce with me specifically, as far as I know. I never went back at her. Tony did. So me and Tony have been fighting again ever since that day. The only time I actually confronted her, which was a couple of weeks ago, was when her and somebody else were spreading lies. They were basically spreading false lies about accusing me of doing something that is very detrimental to a creator.
Raping that bar?
No, doxing people. And it's like the other person is a creator, and I've known that person for a very long time, and they should know that A, I would never do that, and B, what kind of damage that could do to somebody's career as like somebody who's like in the lower ranks of being a creator.
Has anyone that Matt Barr listens to told him not to dox people? Because that was the argument the other day, that he didn't give out the actual street address. He just put like the street name and the city for whoever the guy was, for whatever his reason was. You know what I'm saying?
I'll comment on that in a sec. But like, so, and then, so I kind of had it out with her a little bit, and she, somebody said, why don't you talk to him, privately, because he's a level-headed dude. She reached out to me. At that time, my friend was in hospice, and then a week later passed away. So I told her, give me a couple of weeks. I will get back to you. We had an hour and a half long private conversation. She's a very lovely girl. You know, I explained my situation. I was very blunt. I said, this is what I saw from your behaviors leading up to your involvement in Comicsgate and so on. And I'm just expressing a pattern. This is what you want to know, why I made that one little offhand comment. This is why. And I said to her, and maybe I'm saying stuff I shouldn't be saying because it was a private conversation, and if I am, I apologize. But I basically said to her, the reason why I worry about it so much is because you have people in this movement giving you money, whether it be super chats or memberships. Mm-hmm. And if I'm right, then when you decide to, the Eric July thing, you know, fades and you leave, then they're going to be like, yo, you just took all my money. If I'm wrong, thank God. I'd rather be wrong. You also have people like Rich and Quaff and Elasmat and Jimmy and all these creators on and vouching for you. And if I'm right, then they're going to be left holding the bag, and everybody's going to be looking at them for vouching for you. And it's going to be up to other people like myself and other people to try to like build them back up or help build them back up. You know, I'm not saying that we're going to be the sole people to raise them back up, but to be, you know, to be the, you know, the ones to help, you know. So, and she promised, you know, and we had a very good conversation. I got no issues with the girl. And she apologized for even spreading that rumor. Or perpetuating the rumor. Now, as far as Matt goes.
Real quick, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
You believe in werewolves?
No. You believe in giants / the Nephilim? No. Do you feel like she's in the Comicsgate movement to make money?
You're asking me things that If you ask me what my gut feeling was, why I came up with that comment, yes.
Okay.
All right. Here's the thing.
No, wait. Before we can not to interrupt you, Carbon, but I don't want to interrupt Dark. Dark keeps trying to make a point before I ask that question, so I'd like him to finish.
Well,
I'm responding to you, Dark, about that whole thing with Katie. I gotta respond to that because the whole. I mean, I know where you were coming from, and your explanation makes sense, and that's all good. But I do understand where they came from because when you're brand new and you're trying to make something happen, to hear somebody who's already somewhat established call you a grifter, you know, it's going to cause at least a little bit of damage. And if I were in that position, as a brand new person with a channel trying to make something happen, I would definitely try to defend myself. You know, so
I get it. No, I get it. Yeah, no, I get it, and here's the thing. There's 100 reasons why I should never have gone on that stream to talk to EVS that particular day, and that was one of them. Yeah.
I want to specify that to make money is not a bad thing, like especially if you're doing something that you love. I'm not like I wouldn't judge. I mean, well, I'll judge people for making money in certain ways, 100%. But to have opinions that then change in order to make money is what I would consider a grifter. However, if you just have opinions and you're making money off of your opinions, like I don't see any problem with that.
Right.
So,
I don't want to get into what led me to that thought because if I do, then people might hear it or go look into it and then maybe come up with the same thing. And I don't want to. I'm not trying to tarnish the girl's reputation.
Well, they'll try to attack you too, you know.
Right. Oh, he's talking shit. Right. Yeah. So no, she knows what I saw and she knows why I thought I did what I did. Why I thought what I did. And she swore that, you know, she understands why I would come to that conclusion, and she said that you know, she promised that that's not the case, and she hopes that she can prove me wrong. And I said, all right, cool, and we're cool as far as I know. Me and her are cool. You know what I mean? Me and Tony, on the other hand, not so cool. But that's besides the point. Now, as far as Matt Barr doxing this guy, okay, this guy Crimcell. I'm not going to sit here and make excuses for anybody doing a dox or perpetuating a dox. All right, there's a moral question at play with this situation. The moral question is, first of all, Crimcell threatened me months ago. The guy's a fucking lunatic. He's
in what way? Can you be specific? I don't know about this.
He just says stupid shit. Like I'm gonna come to your house. I'm gonna you're gonna die.
He threatens death to you.
Yeah. I mean, it's stupid shit, and like you could tell he's just fucking talking out his ass, you know.
Yeah. Well,
I'm gonna tell everybody you're a pedo, blah blah blah, you know, stuff like that. I'm gonna ruin your reputation. Like it's just like all this nonsense. It's crazy. So when I say threaten, I'm not saying like in a very. I'm just saying like the guy is fucking a lunatic. He's not of the right state of mind. He's here to worship at the altar of Dick and Vito. And anybody who might have anything bad to say about them is on his attack list. That's basically Crimsell in a nutshell. All right. So when this guy went the extra step to actually start DMing Matt, now Matt didn't go dig up any information on this guy. The information was there. Matt just spewed it. So this is the moral argument that's been had since, I'm sure it's since before Comicsgate, but as far as I know, I'm aware of the whole quote-unquote doxing thing from day one of Comicsgate. Can you be doxed more than once?
No.
Well, I mean, I think what you're saying is that he was doxed on Kiwi Farms first, and then Matt simply copied that information and shared it on Twitter. Well, I mean, it could be argued that there's a lot of people who never go on Kiwi Farms, though. Like me myself, so...
Right. So what I'm saying is, now I'm of the moral and ethical mindset that if somebody is being purposefully anonymous and their dox comes out, and then you take that dox and actually use it in chats on Twitter, you're perpetuating the dox. That's my moral and ethical stance. Not everybody has that same moral and ethical stance.
I think that's accurate, to be honest.
You know, do I blame Matt for freaking out and going hard at Crimsell? No, I don't blame him at all. If it was me, would I have maybe not been so impulsive and thought to myself, I'm a creator. Mm-hmm. I hang out with other creators. Maybe I shouldn't do this. Yeah, I probably would have had that conversation with myself.
So then real quick, ladies and gentlemen, everybody watching right now, the 8 people watching, Dark Gift has in fact confirmed my theory that Matt Barr is one of the stupidest people on the planet. Not necessarily that
don't put those words in my mouth, Pat. Do not put those words in my mouth. What I'm saying, and I stand by it, he's impulsive, hot-headed, and he's a pit bull. And if anybody hasn't figured that out in the 5 years he's been around, and you've been around just as long, then there's a little bit of responsibility on your end when you go in to engage with him like that.
See, the thing is, I've seen him for a while, 4 or 5 years. I'd say 4.5, probably, middle of 2019. And I've seen him. Thank you for laughing at my joke there. Oh, whoops. Thank you, Katie. I've seen him for a while. The thing is, my issue with him is that we had our own little tiff. And the thing about it was, it had like nothing to do with him. So my whole issue with him is that I can tell very clearly that he's got some sort of problem. And I'm not going to I'm not going to call him an evil person. I can see that he believes certain things that I believe, and I appreciate that. And if this were the apocalypse and I had to rely on, very few people, I think Matt Barr would be on that list of people that I would be like, all right, well, you're technically on my side because you think similarly to the way that I do. But the problem is that he just needs to calm the fuck down and stop being so people. He lets people get to him, and he shouldn't, because on the one hand he says Twitter is GTA, none of it matters, and on the other hand he says all these people are attempting to grape me, and it's like, dude, you can't have it both ways.
Here's the thing. We're I think society as a whole is starting to come through this, and not just Comicsgate. I'm literally saying society is starting to come through this revelation of, it used to be, it's just the internet, bro. It's not real life. And if this was 2005,
this is your business.
Hold on, I'm getting there. I'm getting there. If this was 2005, 2007, I'd say you probably have a point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What you know, the social media wasn't even like that big of a thing. Yeah, you had Friendster and MySpace back then. You know, Facebook was just coming out. Like, you know what I mean? Like, very few people were doing the internet commerce thing. You know what I mean? It's now 2024. Our whole entire lives are digital.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your
Especially after
banking.
COVID, yeah.
Yeah, your banking, your social media, your interactions, your jobs have, like, most people's jobs have something to do with being online at some point or another. Even mine, and I'm a fucking bartender and a banquet coordinator. You know what I mean? But I got to be online. I got to be out there selling. I got to be, you know what I mean? Like, you know, and if you're an artist or a musician, especially, this is your real life. Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, whatever it is you're using to promote yourself, this is your business. This is your livelihood. So when someone comes out and says some shit that, yeah, maybe if you took a breath and looked at it and said it's probably just a really bad joke, but when you got people literally flying doxes all over the place and everything is so easily looked up, and you literally have people traveling state to state to state, going from like warehouse to conventions to this, and we are going to conventions, and you're going to run into these people regardless if they're hunting you down or not. Like, there comes a certain point where you have to like literally figure out to yourself, how do I navigate this space now? This space is real.
Well, I'd say there's a comparison as well between. Oh, I'm sorry, everybody who's talking there.
Go ahead.
But yeah, between what happened with Eric July and Riley, there's an interesting analogy here, because you had that, you know, Riley making what seemed like threats over the internet. You know, Eric July has the right to take them as real, you know, and to respond to them in turn. And so now with Matt and this guy, Crimcell, right? Crimcell's basically doing the same thing as Riley, and Matt, you know, he had a knee-jerk reaction. Ironically,
everybody's on high alert. Yeah.
As much as I don't like Eric July, I agree with Eric July's reaction more so than Matt's. Because Eric treated it from like kind of a legal standpoint, which is, I'm going to protect myself even though I don't know what this is. It could be real, could be a joke, doesn't matter to me. I'm going to do a legality with it and be done with it. Matt, with the doxing, I cannot abide by the doxing. I don't agree with doxing. That's not the correct reaction.
Right. Here's my thing. I would have handled it differently, but I'm not gonna crucify the man for doing what he thought he needed to do to scare somebody off, especially when they DM'd him about his kids. It's one thing to say, I'm going to come grape you, Matt Barr. It's another thing when you said you brought your kids into your own sexual whatever the term he used.
I'm sorry, Dr. I feel stupid now because I'm ignorant of that particular aspect of it, the children. So
the Crimcell DM'd Matt and said, I'm paraphrasing, I can probably pull it up, but he said something to the effect of, this is your fault, you brought your kids into your own sexual proclivities. I can't remember the exact phrasing and terminology, but he brought his kids up in a sexual reference. So Matt dropped the guy's name.
You know, yeah, I mean, that does kind of slightly...
Would I have handled it differently? Probably. But am I going to crucify this guy? Do I fault him for that? No.
I see what you're saying now.
I don't have kids. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have kids. I can only imagine what it would be like if I'm on the internet and some fucking spastic who dresses up like a brony starts talking about my kids in a sexual way in DM.
So,
yeah, no, he did what he
would your response?
Go ahead, Ben. Sorry.
Would your response, you know, someone says, blah, 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 your kids, this and that, and raping, all this different stuff. Would your response be, I need to put this on Twitter. I need to fire back on Twitter if you thought it was a legitimate threat? Or would you say, like Eric July, I'm going to call the police. I'm going to get a warrant.
The guy never said he was coming to Matt's house. So legally, there's nothing he could do.
Well, it would create a paper trail.
Well, yeah,
You know,
yeah. I mean, I got a night letter in the mail about a year and a half ago, almost 2 years ago, and I went to the cops. I said, "Listen, I know there's nothing you could do. I just want it on record in case." I was like, "I don't know if you know about like internet culture and you know about swatting." They were like, "Oh yeah, we know all about it." They put my name and address down on the whole thing. Yeah, of course, you could have done that.
So that's what I'm saying is like if he thought it was a legitimate threat, the right action isn't to try and escalate it by going on a Twitter flame.
I don't think he was trying to escalate it. I think he was trying to scare the guy into being like, "I know who you are. You want to fuck with me? Fuck around and find out." I think that's what Matt's thing was. Now, again, is that how you want to go about doing it? I don't know.
It's also a little bit of a punishment, truth be told, because look, what's the intention behind posting someone's address online? It's so that other people could see it and they could potentially fuck with him. Right, I mean, because that's essentially what it is. You're posting it online so that other people could see it. So it's like a punishment to that guy.
I mean, yeah, there's absolutely an essence to that. Absolutely. Listen, I'm not saying like I condone, but I'm also saying I don't fucking disavow. This is one of those things where you brought his kids into this.
Fair enough.
I don't know how I would react.
I mean,
I don't have kids.
I didn't know about that before.
I'm looking for it now.
Either, but I've been like I spent half of my professional career in childcare. I was a manager of a childcare center. Like the children are the things like they are more important to me than really anybody else because they're innocent and they don't understand the evil the way that adults do, and they don't think evil things the way adults do. And so like when you bring children into something, I'm instantly going to be like not in favor of what you're doing.
Yeah, I'm looking for it because I don't want you to be like, trust me. I don't want to come across as like a trust me bro. I'm trying to find it so I can show you.
But some people have said in the chat, and I agree with them, that there's more issues than just, so Chuck Reardon says, Matt's list of problems is a lot more than just doxing. That is true. So I would say maybe, excuse me, goddamn alcohol. Sorry. Maybe the particular doxing incident that occurred, I could see that as being justified when I see with my own eyes the evidence that the children were brought into it. If you brought the children in, if you brought the wife in, now it's fair game. That's honestly how I feel. If I had wife and kids and you fucking threatened them, it's over. Like that's it. Like I'm gonna go. It's war. You know what I mean? So I understand that. However, Matt Barr has still, regardless, like all that aside, that was like, okay, I'm fucking, there's no hope for him now for me. Now that you say that, there might actually be hope for him. But at the same time, he's still incredibly fucking stupid and incredibly prideful and not talented enough to back it up. And so when he does all the other things that he does on Twitter, like fucking constantly going after people all the time, it gets tiresome. So before he was tiresome to me, then he started doxing people, and now he's like, he was an enemy. And now that you're saying that they brought the children in, and that's why he doxed.
Yeah, the guy's creepy. This guy Crimsell is creepy. He's a creepy dude. He said some creepy shit to me.
I understand. Matt is still tiresome now to me.
Well, yeah, if you find
everything you say.
Listen, I'm not trying to sit here and make you become his best friend. I'm just trying to.
I understand. Yeah. But like he needs to grow the fuck up is really what it comes down to. That's how I feel about it.
How long ago was this?
All this aside from the whole doxing and bringing the children in, all of that stuff aside, all the things that he's been saying on Twitter and constantly getting into fights with everybody and constantly causing, like I said, it gets tiresome. Let's see what the chat has to say. We've been ignoring them for hours, I say. I can't. Like the chat is there's the reason we're here. Chuck Reardon says this show reminds me of the early days of the slums. Honest and intelligent conversation, not a screaming hate fest. Thank you.
Not yet.
Also, fuck you. Yeah, right.
Okay.
Fuck you.
Nicholas McHugh says Crimson Bates people. I said honesty is all I ask for here, Chuck. That's literally all I ask for. I don't care about a damn thing else.
Chuck's a good man.
He really is.
Yeah.
Nicholas McHugh says Riley does the same thing. See, Chuck is on everybody's channels. He watches everybody. I see him. You know, there's a few people on here. Like, I see Nicholas McHugh. I see Chuck. I see a lot of people all the time. You know who I don't see, by the way, coincidentally, in the chat? Can Carbon or Dr. Ben tell me who's not in the chat? Like, interestingly enough.
What happened to
weird?
Mr. Self-Destruct?
Yes, Mr. Self-Destruct has abandoned us. Abandoned us. See, now you wanted the screaming, you wanted the yelling. Now you got it.
Where's he at?
It's beta behavior. Peyton Orlando says that's what I was thinking as well. So refreshing, respectful. Thank you guys. That's the goal. That's honestly the goal. I don't give a goddamn about.
You do sound like you're from a different.
The only thing that I care about is truth on this channel, and that's what we're gonna do. And I've drunk far too many beers to not tell the truth, so you guys can see what's going on. Chuck Reardon says the doxing hurts Matt more than the guy he doxed 100%, because now anybody who backs his book has to wonder. That's the problem, I think, with his whole doxing thing.
Or anybody who argues with him.
Correct. Kit Orlander says this began because of Vic, in my opinion. Chuck Reardon says oldest rule of the internet: do not feed the trolls. That's it. That's pretty good. Nicholas McHugh says Matt's problems haven't even entered him yet. Matt's problems haven't even entered him yet. Is that like a gay reference, Nick, that I don't understand?
Yeah, I think so.
I'm sorry, I'm joking. Nick, you know I'm going to make the jokes all the time. Sorry, I'm not trying to be disrespectful. General Piggy says, yeah, I can see why Matt reacted that way in that case. See? Yeah, I understand. Q, are you in a different mic? You sound like you're coming through the other...
Tap on your microphone. Yeah, you're not talking through that mic.
Yeah, check your settings.
Oh my God. You know how frustrating that is, folks? You know how much money I spent on this microphone for it to not...
Hey, how's my voice sound now?
Way better.
There it is.
Yeah.
God damn it. You guys gotta tell me that earlier.
What are you using an MXL?
No, it's a Newman.
Oh,
What is it? A Newman. It's like look, bro. It cost me a fucking pretty penny. I'm, like Dark Gift. I'm a musician, so I spent good hard money on this mic.
Yeah. Is that a Newman mic?
But the thing is, yeah, it's a Newman mic, 100%.
It's a nice fucking mic.
Thank you, sir. It did. Anyway, I unplugged because sometimes you guys start. It literally sounds like this. So I have to unplug it and plug it back in. I have a Focusrite Scarlett, if anybody knows what that is.
Yep.
I have to plug it back in. I have to unplug it and plug it back in. And I guess I just didn't. Like, StreamYards was like, no, you've got to reset the mic. So I'm sorry, but you guys got to tell me that earlier. My mic is fucking beautiful. If my voice doesn't sound like goddamn silk, you got to tell me.
You know what you need to do? You need to go into your Windows settings and make this the Scarlett your default microphone.
Yeah, I should if I was not.
And then set
technology.
And then set StreamYards to always use your default microphone.
Yes.
So this way, if it's unplugged, it'll default to whatever Windows thinks is your next backup mic. But if you plug it back in, it should automatically just reconnect to StreamYards.
God damn. So I've been talking for what, an hour now, and you guys haven't heard a thing I've said?
We heard it. It just sounded like you were in a tin can. Yeah.
That's... Tell me. Dark Gift, you always sound amazing. Whatever your mic is, it's fucking amazing.
It's XL, not an XLR, an
SM57.
An MX. MLR, MXL. I forget the brand. I'm fucking up the brand name right now. Off the top of my head. No, it's a 990. MXL 990. I have like 5 of them. They're like, you can get them anywhere from 100 to 150.
I have
each.
5 of them. He says. You see that fucking little flex he did, guys? You see that? He's like, oh yeah, they're amazing mics. I've got 5 of them. I can just throw it away. It wouldn't matter.
I actually gave one away to Good Stuff's daughter because she has an amazing voice and she was singing through a gaming headset, and I was like, no, here, I have an extra XLR mic.
That is nice of you, actually. God damn, you've always got to be nice instead of like the enemy. Fuck you. General Piggy says, yeah, it's hard to overlook Matt's spaz outs. He once said I lacked morals because I wouldn't condemn JDA for a dumb comment he made. Oh my God. Lacked morals. Oh my, I don't want to get into that. Check your DM, says Nicholas McHugh. Is that me?
I don't know.
Probably me.
I do have the screenshot of the DM pulled up if you want to show it. Speaking of DMs.
Oh, he shared it with me too. Is he saying to everybody check your DMs? Okay, hold on. Let me show that.
So this is Crimcell to Matt.
I'm going to blow this up. Hold on.
He says, quote.
Wrong. There we go.
He says, quote, it's fucked that you brought your children directly into the forefront of your sexual violations, Matt. You did this to them. But nobody knows what this is. Did what to them?
I need some more background for this to know it's fucked that you brought your children directly to the forefront of your sexual violations. Which sexual violations is he referencing?
That's the other thing. We don't know what he's talking about.
It's fucked that you brought your children directly to the forefront of your sexual violations. Man, you did this to them.
Now, this is the same guy who said he was going to spread rumors that I was a pedo because of the whole Vic King thing.
Okay, well, I don't that's not cool at all to spread rumors of people that they're pedos. I mean, if somebody's a pedo, go after them. If you know and you have.
I'm pretty sure the implication here is that he's going to spread rumors that Matt touches his kids. That's what we all took from it.
Oh yeah, it does sound like that. Yeah, I see that now.
Let me see it again. It's
Look, I mean, the guy's really
to the forefront of your sexual violations, Matt. You did this to them. You did this to them.
Meaning,
is that what he's saying?
He's saying what he's saying is okay. So the first part is the false statement that he's going to spread. It's fucked that you brought your children directly to the forefront of your sexual violations. That's the lie he plans on spreading. The next part is you did this to them, meaning the fact that I'm involving them in this little beef of ours is your fault.
Yeah.
But wait a minute. Had he specifically said that Matt does that to his children?
Not that I'm aware of, because then as soon as Matt got that DM is when Matt dropped his name and address off of Kiwi Farms on Twitter, and then the guy just kind of went into hiding for a few days.
Yeah, well, the guy's clearly a weirdo. I mean, this is enough to say, okay, I agree with just blocking this dude and just letting them disappear.
Yeah. No, I hear you. I'm just showing you like the fact that this guy has threatened to spread rumors about pedophilia, about not just me, other people within Comicsgate.
That's fucked.
Right? Now he's going here to Matt's DMs and saying basically it would sound like he's saying is he's going to spread rumors that Matt does this to not only just kids in general, but his own kids. That's the, I mean, it's hard. We're talking about a lunatic here, so it's hard to say exactly what it is. But regardless, whatever it is, he's talking about sexual violations and his kids, and it's a threat when he goes, "You did this to them." I mean, it's some kind of threat.
Well, here's the other
some
thing.
kind of vague threat about Matt's kids. I mean, I'm not going to fault the guy for fucking going apeshit.
Yeah, no, you're right.
I'm sorry.
But here's the other to take it back to another thing I'm not happy about though. You see this kind of weird shit from random losers out there, and then what does Matt do? Now he quote tweets it and he goes, "This is #Comicsgate," as if this fucking one weirdo is the new Comicsgate.
Yeah.
And that was one criticism I had of his recent shit. It's yeah, you have a few weirdos. It doesn't mean that, all of Comicsgate should be condemned now.
No, I mean, I hear you. Listen, I try not to do when I'm arguing with people, I try not to do the guilt by association thing. When I'm arguing with somebody who's got my back and they say something that I don't agree with, I might turn around to them and be like, yo, watch what you say, because whatever you say is going to come back on me, because I, like Cecil, live in the real world. I don't like guilt by association, but I understand that it exists.
Yeah.
And I've literally been the guy getting all the arrows and knives for shit that other people in my little circle of friends say. You know what I mean? Somebody says something and it's the slums did it.
And you don't necessarily instantly say, "Oh, I don't agree with that," and so they all assume that it's something that you think.
Right. You know, if I'm on somebody else's channel and it's like a passing comment,
Yeah.
I pick my battles, but I'm not going to sit here and like fucking play devil's advocate on every fucking topic, every fucking night, every fucking stream.
Right.
You know what I mean? If someone says something stupid in passing, all right, whatever. And if somebody out there in the ether picks up on that one little comment that I thought was just a nonchalant comment and wants to fucking make it a big thing, like you got this, and then you got fucking Pete Callen out there going to Slums Docs. Okay. Well, I mean, you know, I'm not saying again that I would have done the same thing, but like, can we put the context to it with this DM, and can we just talk about the one person who actually did it, and not make it that like I did it, Alasmat did it, Dillard did it. You know what I mean? Like, we didn't do it. I didn't know about it till 3 days later.
I stopped following CG Callen, but did he say that because Matt Barr doxed somebody, you all doxed somebody? Is that what
he quote tweeted Matt and said, "Look, the Slums docs."
So he's pretty much doing the same thing. Guilt by
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
so
that's hypocritical. I'm not down with it on either side. Yeah.
Yeah.
I listen. I'm not saying like, you know, like let's play tit for tat here or whatnot. But I'm just saying like we're like you said earlier, like you didn't like that I took CG out of the name of Slumlord Show, Carbon. Well, Pete Callen really didn't like that I did that.
He got fucking murdered, pissed.
I became Mr. Anti-Comicsgate. I was told that I shouldn't be in the new Comicsgate community room because his exact words were, "How dare you post?" Because I was promoting the show, and at the time it was when it was called Indie Slumlords, right? And he was like, "How dare you promote that in here? Blah 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 blah. This, that, and the other thing." And it puts General Piggy in a very weird position because he doesn't want drama in the, you know, that's his room and he doesn't want drama in it, and I get it. And so I left. I wasn't going to have it. But like that's why for a while there you heard me going around talking about the CG Puritan police, because it's like, oh, if I'm not speaking the party line, you know, and when they go, whose party line? EVS's party line? No, EVS has his opinions. When I talk about the party line, I'm talking about the hive mind lunatics like you, Pete.
Yeah.
Who take what he says for fucking verbatim. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. Chuck Reardon makes a great point in regards to this. Guilt by association is a sad reality of life. Keeping a good reputation is the best defense. Sometimes, Chuck, it doesn't matter because people are more interested in the whole like whose side is on whose side. I look over at all this, you know what I mean? Like, do I like the fact that Dark Gift removed Comicsgate from his show? No. Do I think that he's somehow instantly anti-Comicsgate? Of course not. And in fact, you know, you've seen me in your chat, like, you know, saying to you, oh, you know, Dark Gift is fucking anti-comics, like, just as a joke, naturally. But like, it's ridiculous to us. Like, people don't have to agree with you 100% for us all to be Comicsgate. And that's, I think, what we started the stream saying is that, you know, the main, at least to me and other people, you know, there was an older idea of what Comicsgate was, but I think distilled to its most core values, it's freedom of speech and the love of comics and the love of the art form. And so, like, freedom of speech requires that there are people who don't agree with you, but people don't seem to understand that. And it blows my mind that, like, you know, like Johnny Scab, for instance. I fucking love Johnny Scab. I love him. I think that everything that he does is hilarious to me. But he doesn't think the same things I think about Comicsgate. He doesn't think the same things I think about religion or politics or whatever. You know, like, we're close, but it's not the same, and it's not, you know, but I don't care because we both are about freedom of speech. And that's anyway, I'm sorry.
No,
I'm going off.
I totally get what you're saying, and like it's like this, man. Like, were there was a few reasons why the name. I mean, the basic layman reason why CG came out of it was Wiggle, who had been gone for 18 months, came back, and at the time his channel, which is now called Outer Pangea, was called CG Slums. All right, and we had the CG Slumlord show. People would get mad at him and yell at me. People would get mad at me and yell at him. People would go, wait, there's 2 CG Slums shows now? Like, no, one's a channel, this is a show, blah, blah, blah. So I was like, all right, I'm just going to go Slumlords, right? And that was the initial change. And then he actually changed his name at the right around the same time to Outer Pangea CG Slums because he was thinking the same thing. Like, let's try to differentiate. And it was funny. We both made changes to. He made a change to his channel. I made a change to the show, and neither one of us had even talked about it. We probably should have, but it was just one of those things. And then the way Indie Slumlords came about was, I was taking a break during when my aunt passed, which she passed a couple of months ago, back in March. And I was taking a break. And I was thank you. Yeah, it's been a really a lot of people it's been a very weird thing the last few months for me personally, between the Vic King thing, because I thought of him as a friend for 7 years, and I utilized his artwork and promoted him, and then all that came out, and then 2 weeks later, and then all the CG stuff blows up with the Frog Tony stuff, and then Rich Embry getting mad at me and stuff like that, and.
Oh, that's another conversation I'd love to have with you, but at a different time.
And Riley, I'm mad at him. and all that stuff. So that all happened. Then my aunt passed away, and then fast forward a couple of months later, my best friend and oldest friend passes away 2 weeks ago, or no, it's been a month now. Jeez, time flies. Holy shit. So it's been very hectic, and I haven't been paying attention to a lot of shit, and I've been a little bit on edge, and I get that. But what I can say is, I sat there and I was thinking to myself, I was literally thinking about, John Malin and the whole grab an ore, build your channel, build your audience, that whole thing. I'm a musician. I do an open mic night stream from time to time. I used to do it regularly. It's not as regular anymore, but I still do it from time to time. Mm-hmm. And I want to do other stuff music-wise. And there's other indie spaces. It's not just indie comics. There's indie music. There's indie films. And I'm huge into horror movies and indie horror movies. And stuff like that. I know it sounds crazy. I would have the Saska sisters on to talk about that movie they made and even ask some of the hard questions. But I would just like to get their insight on the makings of an indie horror movie.
But you see, that's the beauty of Comicsgate. You can do that. You're willing to talk to them, and that's your freedom of speech. And I'm not going to hate you for having the Saska sisters on your channel. But you know what I mean? Right, but
that would blow people's mind.
It would blow people's minds. Exactly.
People would be like, "He's a Ripper simp," and I was like, "I'm not even a Ripper fan."
And I would say, "Fuck the Saska sisters. They're Satanist pieces of shit," and I have the right to say that. And you don't have to agree with me, and that's all that it is.
Yeah, and it's funny because so I was so there's all these indie spaces, and what if I become good friends with one of them? When I say good friends, but good internet friends like I am with Dillard and Elasma and stuff. And maybe they want to be a part of the Slumlord show, and they can bring their audience to that show, but they're not a comic book fan. Maybe their audience, maybe there's comic book fans in their audience. So I want their audience to watch the show because maybe they'll back Dillard's book, maybe they'll back Elasmat's book, maybe they'll back my book, right?
That's how it is.
Maybe they become a slumlord, but they're not a Comicsgate slumlord.
Right.
They're an indie musician slumlord. So that's where indie slumlord, right? So here I am thinking I'm following the great coach of Comicsgate, John Malin's wisdom of grab an ore, build your... I know, I love John. John is an honorary slumlord. I made him a badge and everything. But what I'm saying is I'm saying it facetiously because I'm for all the people who are like, you're anti-Comicsgate, you took CG, and I'm not saying it's you, Carbon, and I'm not saying it's you, Pat. I'm talking about the ones who actually came at me hard about it.
I was just joking every time I said that. I was trying to.
No, I know you are. There were people who were legit mad and legit calling me anti. Yeah. You're the new war campaign. You're this. The whole nine. I got every bit of vitriol you could just for taking 2 little letters out of the title of a show. You know what I mean?
Yep. Well, I guess I was mistaken, Anthony, because I thought something completely different. I thought that you took it out because you no longer wanted to associate with Comicsgate. But yeah, this whole explanation that you just said, I wasn't aware of all of that. you know. So
there's only so many times. Only so many times you could explain it to someone on Twitter or on a live stream before you just give up and say, "Fuck it." You want to fucking judge me for it? Just judge me for it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and you just give up. But here's the thing: not many people know this, but my LLC is Comicsgate Comics. I just do business as Dark Gift Comics. I have one of the legal licenses from EVS. Like, if I didn't want to be Comicsgate, I would just get rid of Comicsgate Comics LLC and just transfer it all over to Dark Gift Comics LLC.
Well, you know,
Or
apparently
you would do something like Matt Barr and the other people have done, and when they say "fuck Comicsgate" or "this is Comicsgate" or trying to kind of tear it down,
Swing
you
it.
haven't done any of those things. You haven't done any of those things.
No. Here's the thing. Like, for me, there's a nuance because there are criticisms that they may make that I may agree with, but they might take it to the next level, and I have to find that balance of being like, yeah, no, like Comicsgate's kind of lost its way, but how do I say that? In my view, I'm not saying it. You know, you might disagree. Everybody's mileage may vary. But in my view, it's strayed from the original mission, and that's why, like, my mission for my channel and anybody who wanted to be a part of it was to stay on the original mission. And that was to network, but, you know, promote and entertain, the three tenets of what we do here on YouTube. And then of course live up to the tenets of Comicsgate in doing so. And that was the goal. It wasn't to light a fire because somebody else decided to light a fire. You know, maybe they thought they were going to do a controlled burn and it got out of hand. I don't know. But, you know, I mean, that's something that we're going to have to deal with amongst our own, like, little ranks in our own little neighborhood of Comicsgate. But,
like I said before, I truly believe that the unity is coming soon again. It sounds corny, but because I think it comes in waves. We had this, you know, these big schisms, and I'm starting to see more people building up separate channels in which they're pulling in other people, like this one included. You know, this is a great example. We got, you know, more people coming in from even Twitter, which, you know, is exciting, and you know, Dark Gift. So, you know, I truly believe that with these separate pockets building up, you know, Patrick had his book, which is fresh and brand new. He's going to continue. Dr. Ben's got his projects. I got a project coming up next year. So, you know, more people are going to be unifying, and I think next year it's going to be exciting. So I'm optimistic about the whole thing.
Because I mean, listen, I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer here, but Comicsgate 2024 and now currently Slums 2024 has been nothing but two big trash fires. I'm going to be honest with you.
Yeah, well, I mean, Dark Gift, I got to be honest with you too. Like, I see this as very motivating. Like, this whole thing is very motivating to me. Like, I don't know. Like, I see. First of all, I've been around long enough to know that Comicsgate splinters from time to time. You know what I mean? And I look at it as it's just a new phase in the way things are going. As long as things are still moving in the direction of freedom of speech and the purity of the art form, in that order, you know, I think we're going to do pretty great.
Can I say something real quick before someone clips
can,
that?
but then after that, I've got to ask you some fucking questions, my guy.
Yeah. Sure. Before somebody clips that and starts saying, "See, DD's anti-Comicsgate," he says Comicsgate's a trash fire. I've been around long enough to be able to have the right to say that. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I've seen every trash fire we've gone through. And if the slums get mad at me, I made a video, and I at the end of it, like, I made a video and I put it up called "Trash Fire Slums 2024," and it's just a music video with an AI song that I, you know, went on. I dabbled. I'm not a big fan of AI music, but I dabbled with it just to fuck around and made a video. And at the end of it, I said, and if you're pissed off at this video, then you need to remember how to learn to laugh at yourself. Because that's what the slums were, man. We just laughed. Yeah. We ripped the shit out of ourselves, you know? And
well, that's what humility is laughing at yourself. Like, you have to be able to laugh at yourself. If you can't, then you need to grow the fuck up.
Yeah. So, you know, I've seen every, you know, the trash fires is literally embedded in the DNA of the slums, let alone Comicsgate. Like, strictly because it's in the DNA of the slums, therefore it is in the DNA of Comicsgate. And we've seen it with the fucking what's his face, the rabbit guy, Doug Ernst and the other guy, when that schism happened in 2018, and then the 2019 schism with Mike Miller and to Naples, and then 2020 with the fall of Rome and fucking, or no, that was the fall of Rome. 2020 was the fall of war campaign. And then 2021 was the lockdown. Not much really happened.
Yeah.
And then 2022 seemed to be good. 2023 seemed to be all right. But then we had the falling out between EVS and Eric July, and then
the Dungeoneers.
the Dungeoneers. And I've even said it to EVS's face. I was like, that's a big nothing burger, and it. That was just Biggins and PTP. Everybody else got a bad rap in that, and the fact that we can't mend those bridges I find that a little ridiculous.
I agree, and I want to say something because that's the perfect. Oh, I'm sorry. This is a perfect segue because there's something you said earlier, Anthony, that I agree with 100%, which is there comes a point where if you're just harping on the same battle, the same dramatic, scuffle between people, it gets old and tiresome, and there's nothing left to be said, and you get to a point where you're only fighting for the sake of fighting, right? And I think it's important to remember to not fall victim to that, because I view it like friends having ball busting, within the group of friends. There's a limit where the ball busting shouldn't cross the line, right? And it has to stop eventually, so that you guys can get back to a point where it's you remember, hey, we're all here, we're all friends. Let's end this era of the ball busting. That's how I view this.
Right. Well, and here's the thing. I said this.
But Carbon and Dark Gift, real quick, Carbon and Dark Gift, do you feel like, because this is the way I feel, is that if you start getting ball busted and you lose your shit over it, and you start saying, you start kind of revealing what you really think about people after you've been ball busted, do you feel like people? I don't know. I feel like 100% since the day the Dungeoneers shit began, I knew that John Malin was busting their balls. I knew it. I was just like, oh, this is John.
He was
how he does things. He busts people's balls. That's all it is. And they lost their fucking shit over it.
The chat wasn't.
So, well, I mean, it's not. This particular subject, I feel like, is more.
It's very touchy for me to say
involved in the ball busting. People involved in the ball busting lost their minds, and so to me, it's it was a way for him to figure out who's chill and who's not. I guess. If you busted my balls, Dark Gift, if you started talking shit on me, I would think it's funny because first of all, I've never done anything to harm you at all. So if you started talking shit to me, it'd be like, oh, he's obviously
First
joking.
of all, you would know that I was
mean?
joking. Yeah, the way I would present it, right? But here's the thing, John was joking, clearly. Even so was EVS when they came up with the Dungeoneer song. I thought that shit was hilarious. DUN, when they're making up after the Musketeer song.
Yeah.
But the thing is, and this very touchy thing for me to say, because the chat is the lifeblood of the channels. The chat is the audience members, and the audience members are the customers. So for me to say something like this is very touchy. So when I mean this with all due respect, but the chat, some of them took it seriously. And some of them were going into their channels' chats and really going hard at them. That's a disgrace what you did to Comicsgate. How could you represent Comicsgate that way? This is the shit that they were getting in their chats. Right? So that when you turn around and you go to the guy who started it as a joke, and listen, I love John, but I'm saying, and I don't know if this actually happened, but somewhere along the line, I got to believe that it did. So somebody turned around to him and was like, John, you gotta help us out here. The chat's turning against us. You know what I mean? In some form or another, somebody had to turn around and say something, and nothing got done. And they got thrown to the wolves, in essence, because the DM group thing came out. And then people felt like, well, we don't need to do that because you were in this DM group where people were talking smack. And it starts to become a guilt by association.
Do you think maybe it was more like because we all have been alive long enough to know that there are people who have more strong personalities than other people they're around. Do you think maybe that because this is the way I see it. Like, there's some people involved in this whole Dungeoneer shit,
and I am
who really,
generalizing,
they're
by
not
the
really
way.
in. Yeah, no, I know. There's people involved in the Dungeoneer shit who are like, like Von Coleman, for instance, a young guy. He's involved in this whole Dungeoneers shit. I don't think the guy has any, like, you know, he's not.
He got the worst
pervert, he's
rap
not
out
a
of everything.
right, but the problem is that there are people who are bigger than him who were involved in it and made their decisions about how they were going to react, and so he joined with them, but also got roped into the accusations made against them. So
Okay, you want to hear my take on that?
I was going to ask a question. Yeah, actually, yeah. Yeah.
All right. So when it comes to Vaughn Coleman, like I think a lot of people got a bad rap, but I especially, and then maybe it's because the kid literally lives 10 minutes away from me. He lives in the town I work in. Like, I've had dinner with the guy. You know, him and Rini were
confirmed. Vaughn Coleman sucks Dark Gifts dick.
Got
it. Oh, you
Gone to the dungeon with
gotcha,
him.
bitch.
So
gotcha, bitch.
No, but and here's the thing. I know he's not a kid, right? I know he's what, 24, 25 years old. Right.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, he's a kid to us.
I'm a 48-year-old. I'm 48 years old. To me, he's a kid, right? And like, and this is no offense to anybody from this generation, but I feel like this has always been the way. Every generation, the newer generation mentally doesn't grow up to the same age level at, like, say 18 as the generation before.
No.
So for 25, his generation, I'm looking at it like as a 19-year-old mentality. And maybe that's a bad part of me. Maybe I'm doing the wrong thing there. But
no, you're 100% correct about that.
Right, but so and if you know the kid's history with his father, and he's talked about it publicly, so I'm not speaking out of turn.
I know.
Both his father and his dad died in the towers. I actually remember that story because it was two brothers. I'm sorry, his father and his uncle. I'm sorry.
You can't do fathers? Wait a minute.
Father
my
and
bad.
his dad. Oh my god.
My bad. Sorry, Vaughn. What you call it?
Vaughn, we're really not trying to shit on you. We're just trying.
No, but it was a big story. Like, I'm sure there was every town in this area, in the tri-state area, had their own little local story. But for us, the local story was two brothers in the towers die. All right, boom. And I remember that, you know, like clear as day, you know. And like, here I am, 20-something years later, and the kid of one of those guys is in my literal orbit, right? And he's a comic nerd, dude. This kid knows shit about shit that you wouldn't even, like, that I don't even remember from when I was growing up collecting. Like, this guy is on it, and he's passionate, and he's talented, and he's not just a writer, he's an editor. And, like, all the guy was doing...
You've got to explain to me all, like, I'm not trying to be a dick. I'm not trying to be, like, okay, I'm not trying to be a dick. I don't understand why everybody thinks that he's so talented. What has he done?
Okay, so
I don't know. So maybe it's I don't know. What
So
has he done?
he actually hit me up about a year before he even got into Comicsgate on Instagram, because we're both from Jersey. He hit me up on Instagram. And he was like just getting out of school. He wasn't even like in Comicsgate yet. I don't know if he knew about it yet or if he was just learning about it. No, he really is a good kid, Chuck. You know, he was like, "Listen, I'm getting out of school, and if you need any help, I see you know, because people see Dark Gift Comics, they think it's like, you know, they don't know it's just me. They might think it's a company, right? So I have people hitting me up all the time. If you need an artist, you know, if you're looking for artists, to be on your, you know, like, listen, that's not how I run things, but you know, I'll keep you in mind for any projects that I need or a writer or whatever. So same thing. And he hit me up, and I said, I was like, oh, you're from Jersey? He's like, yeah, I'm from X and X, New Jersey. I was like, oh, I work there. He's like, oh, cool. He's like, maybe we should get together. And we were supposed to get together for coffee. And I was like, well, send me some stuff. And he sent me some stuff that he's written, and that like, I don't know if it was actually published or not, but regardless, I read it, and it was freaking awesome. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And I believe it was published in something. I can't remember exactly what off the top of my head, because this is going back 2 years ago now, maybe 3 years ago. And it was like a brief interaction on Instagram. So fast forward to the Dungeoneer stuff. This kid is now in Comicsgate. He's getting ready to launch a book, and he's got names, quote unquote names, paying attention to him. Older guys.
Yeah.
You know, I was the kid who was like 14, 15 as a freshman in high school hanging out with all the seniors and guys who had just graduated. So I was that younger guy trying to wanting to hang out with the cool guys, the cool older guys, and like wanting to make sure that they knew that I was cool too, you know? And not that they all did that, because a lot of them just kind of stayed out of it. Like I read through the whole document, and if you go through, most of them are just talking about their books and shit. Like I don't think anybody really. Yeah. I mean, Joe Ball might have made a couple of comments about Matt Barr here or there. Kelsey kind of went a little buck there at a certain point, but he was obviously going through some personal stuff between him, Anna, John, and Cecil with the Jack Show, and that's a whole other. You know, that has nothing to do really.
That tonight.
Yeah. So
we need to save that for a different episode. That'd be more.
But Biggins and PTP were definitely trying to form some kind of coalition, some kind of coup, and what disgusted me the most is Biggins, because I've talked to PTP. Honestly, as a one-on-one conversationalist and like interaction, very nice dude, right? I'm not saying he's stupid, but I don't think he's that conniving. He doesn't have the brains to do something like that. That was all Biggins, in my opinion. This is my opinion. But Biggins was manipulated PTP.
Yeah.
And
you don't have to tell us that PTP doesn't have the brains to do that thing. We all
But if you go and you read through that, now you got Narwhal, who's fairly young. You got Phil Diaz, who's fairly young. You have all these other guys that were in that group that are fairly young. But the only one that Biggins would call son, especially when Vaughn, a couple times Vaughn was like, why are we even doing this? What does that have to do with comics, right? And then they'd have to reel him back in, right? Because he'd be the one that they can get, like, fired up about shit, right? And whenever like they wanted to, well, I say whenever Biggins wanted to pay him a compliment to make sure that he was still under Biggins' like wing, you know, or had to reel him back in, Biggins would call him son. In that,
yeah.
I
noticed that too. And that honestly, when Biggins said son to Vaughn Coleman, I started to be like, oh, so maybe Vaughn's not all that bad. Like, you know, you have the instant reaction that you have, but then you start to really look into it, and that whole like son thing. It was like, oh, Vaughn has been kind of groomed to a degree to be anti-CG.
No, he has.
So I don't have any I don't have any problem. I don't have any personal problem with the dude. There's people, you know, they say shit like, you know, oh, he named his book Phenomenova and your book is Phenomenon, and so like this is, you know, you need to be. I don't give a fuck. Like, he's young.
It's coincidental. Like, I don't think there was any malicious thing there.
It is 100% coincidental. The guy, like, literally, like, I don't have any issue with the guy, and it's like, I wish that he would come back to us on our side. You know what I mean? I just wish that he would be able to believe that we're on his side and not. Like, I wish you'd be able.
I'll let you in a little secret.
Maybe he's too young to understand the whole.
They are. A lot of those guys are, when it comes to people like quote unquote us. They might not like John or EVS.
Fuck them. Like, if you don't like them, fuck them. Do your own thing.
Right.
I like them, but you don't have to like them.
Right. Well, that's the point I'm making. The point I'm making is they are around. Like, I mean, Rini was on the first episode of Cockfight.
I can see it starting to pass.
Oh, wait.
Because time does heal the wound.
And then after Carbon talks, we're going to switch to a different conversation, and then we're going to kind of,
Okay, well, let me just finish what I'm saying there, is because
I
think time is starting to heal the wound, where it's like, you know, that group, Rini, Vaughn, even Phil Diaz, it's like, I still go on their channels, by the way. I still watch their shows. I still participate in the chat. Yeah, and like, it's past. You know, like I said, It was a session of, in my eyes, it was a session of ball busting. It's gotten old now. It's time to move on, and I think it's possible to make amends. I think so.
Yeah, and like, no, it is. I mean, like, literally, I had my cockfight. The first 2 episodes, it was Renee Dillard and Narwhal Alasmat. So I literally had two guys. Renee's not
Great
the guy.
episodes.
But two
Fantastic
two creators from quote unquote the Dungeoneers on my show.
Yeah,
and they're cool with us. They're like, they got no issues, right? The third episode was Pete Gilmore
Really
versus
lame
Jason
comparison.
Bascom. Yeah.
Oh, actually, never mind. Pete Gilmore's amazing. Also, so let's move on here. I'm sorry, guys, but I have to we've got to get the chat going here. Chuck Reardon says Cockfight and Scribbattle are 2 of the best shows in CG in my biased half opinion. I certainly think Cockfight is probably, it's like one of, if not the best Comicsgate show of all time, in my opinion.
Appreciate that.
I love it. I think it's amazing. I love the fact that Dark Gift, that you allow people to fucking shit on each other.
The spin and wheel thing. I like
The
that.
way I look at it is we're combining art with drama, right? But it's kayfabe drama, right? It's like you get these 2 people fucking talking smack and like getting the crowd hyped, and the hype is getting involved in the smack talking. They're smack talking each other. Everybody's smack talking, but they're rooting for these 2 artists to draw these fucking pictures. And then you whip out the wheel of betrayal. It's like, add another character. Draw with your other hand for 5 minutes. You know what I mean? It's like. And like you gotta watch these artists fucking freak the fuck out, and then like at the end of it all, if they draw traditional, they get the option to fucking make a couple of bucks by auctioning the piece off.
The wheel is the most amazing thing in the whole world. It's so great. Kate Orlando says, "Yes, I know, GG. She's talking about how you truly, really love Soundgarden as your favorite band of all time." Chuck Reardon says, "Open mic is barely semi-annual at this point. I'm disappointed." Just like me, Chuck. You feel the same way I do, Chuck. Where the fuck is open mic? I was trying to show you all up, and you didn't give me any. You gave me one chance, and now here we are. Chuck also says Dark Gift. There was a lot more than the name change that happened there. We gotta burn through these here. Fire burns and Chris ever for new growth. This is not the first fire of CG. 100%. Dark Gift is a pillar of CG. To question his loyalty is joke at best. I 100% agree. Both sides need to want to mend bridges before that can happen. That's true. I don't feel like the other side wants to mend bridges because they can't take a joke. That's how I feel. Vaughn is a kid. I'm guessing a good one if Dark Gift says so. I mean, your word means a lot to a lot of people, Dark Gift, especially in the chat. Dark Gift is speaking facts. I almost read that as fascist, which is kind of weird. PTP is Nambla. I don't even know what Nambla is. Biggest was manipulating the kid. It is disgusting. Yeah, 100%. Gentlemen, I must excuse myself for the evening 3-hour drive, then rain. Oh my God, Kate. No,
hey,
please.
Have a good drive, Kate.
Have a good drive. Ladies and gentlemen, actually, we're going to move on to our next subject here. I know there's only a few people up next, or a few people left. We've got 4 viewers here, but maybe we'll bring in a few viewers here. Just real quick, though, I'd like to say thanks, Carbon Heart and Dark Gift for coming on, Dr. Ben for coming on.
Always good to see you, BG.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
really,
thanks for having me. Thanks for
I know
letting
you
me
were
come on and like kind of play devil's advocate.
Yeah.
And paint a little light into the mind of Matt, because I know I'm not saying you have to still like the guy, but I think maybe sometimes understanding the person you're not liking.
Yeah.
Kind of maybe.
While I've got you on the record, do you think he's taking orders from your boy Zach?
No. I think I think they barely talk.
Yeah, I think they barely talk either. So let's move on, folks. This subject is the whole Comicsgate thing. I promised people I would talk about Tartaria.
Yeah,
Dark Gift. I know you might have to leave because we're going to talk about a different subject here, but I really appreciate you coming on. I appreciate you sitting on the fence for Matt. I'm just kidding. It's a joke. I'm always gonna try to start shit with you, dude.
Listen, I'm gonna be honest. I sit on the quote unquote fence for everybody because I look at things from a logical standpoint, and when it comes to dealing with people, maybe that's like a psychological thing from being a bartender. Like I have to kind of be able to read the person and have to try to understand people. Because if I'm going to confront somebody and take their keys away, or cut them off at the bar, or stop them from like hitting on somebody or something, that's making them feel like awkward. I need to understand what I'm getting into.
Yeah.
And I can see like I don't when I say when I'm having conversations like this and I say I can see this, doesn't mean I agree with it. It just means I could see it.
Yeah.
You know, like a point of view. And
I appreciate that you coming on and being able to, you know, just give your opinion, and it may not be something everybody agrees with, but here we are. This is how freedom of speech works. So thank you.
Right.
No, I kind of I don't want to say derailed, but I kind of like monopolized a lot of time. So I'll let you guys get to what you guys are going to talk about. I got to go let my dogs out anyway. Always a pleasure hanging with you guys. And
I'm not trying to kick you off. If you want to stay on for the Tartaria thing, I'd love.
No,
to.
I honestly,
you don't want to know about Tartaria? Come on, we can talk about it.
I'll stay in the chat. I'll be listening on my phone. I just I'm unaware of the topic and won't have much to add, so I might as well go take care of.
Fair enough.
I might have to I can go take care of what I got to take care of and just hang out in the chat. But thanks again, guys.
No, dude, thank you for coming on, Dark. Have a good night.
Have a good night.
Yeah. Thank God he's gone. Am I right?
Oh my God, that son of that's what you get. You invite the slums on. You know what I'm saying? They come in.
Makes the whole show shit.
They can bring in garbage bags of clothes. Can I use the washing machine? Right. Hey,
everything smells now.
Got anything to eat? I'm kind of hungry. What do you got around here? They're leaving. Yeah.
Oh my God. So anyway, folks, I promised you that we would talk about Tartaria Night. So here we go. The first thing, like I've got a video here I want to show you. So here we go.